You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 1036. 1036 Chapter 251. Those who are involved are confused. 4. The figure smiled again. Brother, you are hiding. You want to take down Suyu. You should know that killing Suyu is not your goal, right? Blood Moon sneered. You want to rope me in? No need, we will rely on our own abilities. There is only one relic, and all the mountains and seas want to enter the sun, moon, and eternity. If you rope in a group of people, how will we split up in the end? With that, Blood Moon flew away. The figure was not in a hurry. He smiled and said, of course, the relics in the Great Xia mansion will be taken away after we make a profit. Who wants to occupy them for a long time? Do you really think that the Xia family is dead? Since it's a destructive development, what does it matter how many mountains and seas there are? Blood Moon ignored him and flew away again. In the next moment, he appeared again and said coldly, get lost. If you follow me again, I'll kill you. Brother, why do you have to keep others at 1,000 miles away? If you can't do it by yourself, contact the experts of the various sects and attack together. Only then will there be hope. The figure advised him again, but soon he smiled and said, if brother insists on doing things his own way, in order to ensure our safety, we might not stand together with you at the critical moment. Are you threatening me? I don't dare. The figure smiled and said, brother, you are too reckless. I'm afraid that you will ruin the whole thing. Humph. Blood Moon sneered, a person who hides his head and shows his tail. Who are you? The deputy sect master of the Blood Fire sect. Ha, Blood Fire sect. Your sect master is like an idiot. He was just killed by Xia Longwu a few days ago. How dare he show his face? Brother, since you know the danger, why do you insist on doing things your way? That's how our sect master, a Sun Moon Realm warrior, died. The figure smiled, let's work together. We are all operating within the Great Xia Manor. Be careful, lest we be wiped out by the Xia family. Blood Moon said coldly, how many mountains and seas do you have? After saying that, he laughed coldly, who knows if you guys already have some agreement in advance. I will help you guys and then bite back at me afterwards. All of you are smart people. There is no need for all of this. Who can trust who? That's true. The figure smiled, there's no need to trust who. But at least there's a plan, some organization, and a single person's strength. How do we capture Suyu? If we don't capture Suyu, we'll fight until our heads bleed. What's the point? The figure sighed, capturing Suyu is the key. And the matter is more complicated than brother imagined. Not only are we watching Suyu, some people are also watching him. This is related to the ruins. Do you really think that everyone doesn't take it seriously? Blood Moon thought for a moment and suddenly sneered, that divine pros faction. They dare to make a move. And they are still living in the Great Xia Manor. Aren't they afraid that the Xia family will find out and take their lives? Ha, unless the real evidence is found out, otherwise, even if the Xia family suspects, they won't make a move on them at this moment, right? Blood Moon was silent, and soon asked again, how many people have gathered on your side? Including me, there are 3 mountains and seas. The figure smiled and said, including brother, that makes 4. After all, the other places are too far away. Unless we receive the news in advance, who would dare to run to the Great Xia Manor? Aren't they afraid of death? Even I am cautious and cautious. I don't dare to act recklessly. Blood Moon sneered. He was indeed cautious and cautious. The one who had come was only an afterimage of a divine symbol. It couldn't even be considered a clone. How do I contact him? The voice transmission talisman is close to Suyu. We can still contact him. Then, a voice transmission talisman was thrown out. Blood Moon took it in his hand and quickly checked it. He snorted and a blood-colored flame appeared in his hand. It burned for a while before he put it into his bag. "Brother, how should I address you?" "Blood Moon." "What about you?" "Blood Moon." "It's fate with my Blood Fire sect. You can call me Blood Raksha." Blood Moon sneered and ignored it. He quickly flew away. After he left, Blood Raksha's figure was faintly discernible. He was a bit suspicious. He was a fellow of the Bloodthirsty Force. He had never heard of the Bloodthirsty Force being active in the Great Xia Mansion. Even the Bloodthirsty Force is involved. This relic really pulls people's hearts. Did Suyu have any ruins? Yes. This was a consensus. Otherwise, did he really think that awakening was that simple? He could open a few hundred of them in one go. A few hundred in a few months. If you opened 100 or 200 of them, it was fine. If you gave some geniuses time, they could do it too. But if you opened more than 300 of them, it would take less than half a year. Who were you trying to fool? Under such circumstances, only some people who had grasped the ruins back then could do it. That was why there were many invincible people back then. Nowadays, the number of ancient domains was getting fewer and fewer, making it harder and harder to find them. Suyu had obtained an ancient domain, so who wouldn't be tempted? The Xia family was looking for it. Nanyuan, everyone wasn't sure if this ancient domain was in Nanyuan or not. That area was currently sealed off, so they didn't dare to rashly approach it. If it was in Nanyuan, it would be difficult to seize it. If it wasn't there, then it would be an opportunity. Let's take a gamble and give it a try. If it was not in Nanyuan, then everyone could get the relic and the inheritance. Or they could get some clues from Suyu. Maybe he had more information. Perhaps the acupoint fusion technique came from the relic. Suyu's Tao protector was exposed. Suyu's expression was not good. He did not say anything and waited for everyone to recover. Then, he continued to move forward. Without his mount, his speed was much slower. On the way, Suyu suddenly said, "The Bloodthirsty Force can sneak into the human realm?" "That's not right. I heard that the Bloodthirsty Force is only active in the north. The Great Xia Mansion belongs to the south. Why would there be Bloodthirsty Force barging in?" It didn't take long for me to accept the mission. It would take quite some time for them to sneak from the north to the south, right? As he spoke, he looked at Xia Qing. His gaze was a little unfriendly. Seeing this, Xia Qing's heart palpitated. She hurriedly said, "Brother Su, it's possible that he was already hiding in the Great Xia Manor." "This is also possible." You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 1037. 1037 Chapter 251. Those who are involved are confused. 5. Suyu frowned and didn't say anything more. Xia Qing also cursed in her heart. Is he suspecting that I leaked the information? Could it be that the single divine language department leaked it? It's possible. If they immediately contacted the myriad religions in the north after she notified them, there was still a high chance that the other party would rush over. At this moment, Suyu didn't bother with her anymore. The thief calling out to catch the thief had always been effective. Blood Moon, one of the three great demons. Blood Moon, Giant Mountain, and One-Eyed. Blood Moon didn't even have a demon ring. Could she hide it from those guys in the dark? Suyu didn't know. He could just try. There wouldn't be any losses. Even if he was discovered, it wouldn't be a big deal. He had exposed the huge mountain and sent away the Blood Moon. He didn't know if the one-eyed man had gained anything. Just as Suyu was thinking about the one-eyed man. At this moment, corpses were strewn all over the mountain. There were also some living people. At this moment, they were all trembling and kneeling on the ground. In front of everyone, a frail figure stood. His hair was white and there was a crack on his forehead. At this moment, he suddenly opened the eye on his forehead and looked at everyone. He said faintly, "Those who resist me will only die. Everyone here must listen to me." The one-eyed man said coldly, "A bunch of trash, yet you dare to resist. If it weren't for the fact that the Demon Eye clan doesn't have any power here, you bunch of trash wouldn't even have the qualifications to join the Demon Eye clan." Among the kneeling crowd, someone quickly said with a trembling voice, "Sir, I'm willing to serve you. However, we originally belonged to the Flame God sect. Our betrayal." "Betrayed?" The one-eyed man said coldly, "So what? Who do you think you are? You are all traitors of the human race. It doesn't matter which race you join. Don't tell me that the Flame God sect will start a war with the Devil Eye clan because of a bunch of trash like you." After saying that, he waved his hand and a large number of natural treasures appeared. He sneered and said, "This is for you. The Devil Eye clan is going to establish a branch sect in the Great Xia Mansion this time. You are the first batch of candidates. You." He pointed at a Ling Yun realm cultivator. "This is the branch sect leader. I will reward you handsomely for this success." "Thank you, my lord." Ling Yun was overjoyed. Branch sect leader. As for betraying the Flaming God sect, forget about betraying them, it was all for the sake of the 10,000 clans. The Devil Eye clan was also a powerful clan. It didn't matter who they worked for. All they had to do was to give them some benefits. If this is a success, there will definitely be benefits for all of you. The one-eyed man looked at the crowd and said coldly, "Since you dare to defy the public, kill them all. There are too few people, follow me to look for the others. We have to start a cult, but we can't do it with too few people." "Sir." The branch leader hurriedly said, "There is still a group of people nearby. There are quite a number of them, including Ting Kong and Ling Yun. They were formed by the Blood Crocodile, the traitor of the Blood Fire sect. Previously, they even tried to rope us in. However, he offended the Great Xia Civilization University, so we don't dare to get involved with him. Sir, if you need more people, I can go look for him." Blood Fire sect. The one-eyed man pondered for a moment, then nodded. "Go find them." With that, a dark light shone down from his eyes onto the group, and he said coldly, "Those who feel that you can run or betray us, try our Demon Eye clan's Tonghua. If you can survive, I won't kill you." The group trembled and didn't dare to say anything more. They could only say that they were unlucky to have been caught by this mountain and sea expert. They had no choice but to betray him. Forget it. It didn't matter who they were loyal to. They just had to give them some benefits. Scram. One-eyed snorted coldly. No one dared to stay. They all left and disappeared into the darkness. One-eyed looked at the corpses on the ground. In his third eye, flames appeared. The corpses were all burned, and they disappeared in an instant. Devil Eye Divine Sect. One-eyed smiled. This was interesting. He turned his head to look in another direction. That crafty human kid was very bold. Aren't you afraid that we'll really run away, or that we'll really lurk in the human realm? Are you sure that will help you? Hong Tan. He muttered in his heart and snorted. That was his great enemy. His grand disciple wasn't a good person either. But, thinking of Su Yu's confident look, the one-eyed man sighed in his heart. Forget it, there's no need to seek death. This time, it was destined to be a show. A show of slaughter. The manor head of Daming Prefecture had personally appeared, and the few of them were probably under his control. Su Yu had set up this trap himself. Could it be that he really didn't have any means to restrain himself? The Xia clan, the Myriad Heaven Sage, and the Zhu clan might all be watching. One-eyed sneered. A bunch of idiots, who knew how many people would die this time. Ruins. Even if there really was one had to have the life to enjoy it. Su Yu had set this up himself. Even if he really had the ruins, would he still be able to bring all of you to the ruins? Starfall Mountain. The place of death was about the same. They had already entered the territory of the Daming Manor. The Zhu family would make a move at any moment. A bunch of idiots. Did they think that the Zhu family would not make a move after being silent for so many years? It seemed like. He also felt that they would not. If Su Yu had not informed him in advance, he did not think that the Zhu family would get involved. Those who were in the middle of the situation would be lost. The Daming King silently thought to himself, it's better to be careful and slow down. Could the Daming King be in the Daming Mansion? If he was there, he would have to keep a low profile and be more obedient. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 1038. 1038 Chapter 252 Continued. Fishing 1. Not mentioning the one-eyed and blood moon, Huge Mountain had revealed his whereabouts, which was also part of Su Yu's plan. You have to let the enemy know your trump card. Of course, it was best to reveal a little more to make the enemy happy. They felt that you really had other trump cards, and that they had discovered something deeper. And the Shadow and the Water Man were the trump cards that the second level was prepared to reveal. Right now, Shanghai didn't dare to investigate him directly, so they might not discover these two guys. When these two guys were also exposed, the enemy would feel that you had no more cards up your sleeve and could only wait for death. Using something shallow to hide something deep. This was what Su Yu wanted to do. He wanted to lure the enemy into taking the bait. If he didn't take the bait, where would he find an excuse to kill? If he didn't take the bait, the two experts that Xia Huyo had sent would only protect Su Yu, and wouldn't take the initiative to help Su Yu kill. If he didn't take the bait, if the Pegasus tribe was helping the humans, they wouldn't take the initiative to attack. These neutral people could use this opportunity to pull them onto the battleship. This was what Su Yu needed to do. He couldn't scare the enemy away. Moreover, if the other party didn't take the bait, the Zhu family wouldn't be able to lend a hand. Couldn't a pavilion elder from the Divine Language Department come out and take a stroll? Before they attacked Su Yu, the other party even shamelessly said that it was to protect Su Yu. This was not a problem at all. I have to make them attack me. This was Su Yu's goal. Moreover, he did not need the weak to attack him. He needed Shanghai to personally attack him. This was Su Yu's ultimate goal. To borrow someone else's knife to kill him. Of course, Su Yu had to grasp the appropriate boundaries. Otherwise, he would play himself to death. If the Sun and Moon were to make a move against the single divine text faction, that would be even better. The prerequisite was that they had to wait until Starfall Mountain. Only then would the Zhu family be able to make a move to deal with the other party. Su Yu was gambling. He was gambling on an information gap. Not many people knew that this time, he was prepared to not return the favor and directly join the Zhu family. Otherwise, with the Zhu family's character, unless they fought their way to the capital, they wouldn't bother with him. When the news of him truly joining the Daming Mansion spread out, then all of today's plans would be for naught. He was gambling on a type of cognitive deficit. In the eyes of the experts of the Great Xia Mansion, Su Yu wouldn't join another mansion. The other manors were so weak, and they didn't have any backers. Su Yu hadn't suffered a great loss yet, so why would he run? The team continued on their way. Su Yu was thinking about all this and calculating. There was definitely danger. However, if he didn't take any risks, it was impossible for him to drag a few mountains and seas down with him. Taking risks was for a greater reward. Mountains and seas, that wasn't enough. He wanted to know if Ling Yun would make a move, such as Zhou Pingsheng. What did Ling Yun need to make a move? The mountains and seas that needed him were all entangled, so there was no chance for him to make a move. At this moment, he couldn't kill him in the air, so he could only come to Ling Yun. Who was most likely to make a move? Zhou Pingsheng. In the eyes of others, he was only at the 7th level of Ling Yun, so he could kill them steadily. Furthermore, the hatred between them was very deep. As long as there was a chance, the other party would definitely attack him. The mountains and seas on his side couldn't have any spare time. It was best if they were evenly matched. Only then would they be able to lure Zhou Pingsheng and the others to attack him. Only then would they have a chance to catch them all in one go. Was Zhou Pingsheng here? He was most likely here. He was Xia Qing's liaison with the Divine Prose sect. He hated Su Yu. He would definitely come, but he didn't know where he was hiding at the moment. Su Yu continued to move forward. At this moment, there were fewer attacks. This was because there were people who were trying to recruit the scattered sect experts, such as One-Eyed. Of course, there were also some idiots who continued to move alone. They ambushed Su Yu in front of them. In the end, only death awaited them. Who? Su Yu killed a fellow who was hiding inside the tree trunk with a single slash. Su Yu's expression was calm. He did not even look at the bleeding tree trunk. Instead, he looked ahead. There was a mountain there. The sky was about to brighten. Su Yu and the others traveled for 500 to 600 li during the night. At this speed, they would reach Nanyuan in another 10 hours or so. That night, the others were already exhausted, and many of them were covered in blood. Zhou Hao was covered in blood as well. He walked up to Su Yu and said in a deep voice, "There are mountains in front of us, and places with mountains are easier to ambush. Do we need to take a detour? 5 mountains and seas, no, 6 mountains and seas, in the Great Xia manner." What detour? Su Yu immediately retorted. What's the point of taking a detour? These guys would protect him until he reached the entrance of the ruins. Since that was the case, wouldn't it be great if he could borrow their strength to kill some of the members of the religion of the 10,000 clans and accumulate some merit points for himself? He didn't know where the headquarters of the religion of the 10,000 clans was. Otherwise, if he led these guys straight into the ruins, these guys wouldn't let him die before the location of the ruins was exposed. It was that simple. Probing was just probing. They didn't want to kill him now. Of course, Su Yu wanted to kill them. Seeing that they were about to enter the mountain path, Su Yu said, "Seniors, there are mountains ahead. There is still some danger. Let's rest for a moment. Which senior is willing to go and investigate first?" In the sky, a figure appeared. An elder said, "I'll go and take a look." Mountain Sea Realm. Su Yu could sense it. After identifying it, he recognized the other party. When the 10,000 race Dao protectors entered the realm, there was naturally information left behind. There was no information that the Xia family could not grasp, nor was there information that Xia Huyo could not obtain. Of course, that was the basic information. The Pegasus race Dao protector. Su Yu recognized the other party without batting an eyelid. The Pegasus race might not be enemies. Of course, it was hard to say at the moment. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 1039. 1039 Chapter 252, Continuous Fishing, Wanginging Request Subscription, 2. Senior, which race's Dao protector are you from? Pegasus race. Su Yu thought for a moment and said, "Then be careful, senior. Although we can fly in the sky when we reach the mountains and seas, the mountains are not the battlefield that the Pegasus race is good at. That fellow from the bloodthirsty race might be lying in wait. It would be best if we bring an expert who is good at mountain battles to investigate together." In the sky, someone laughed and said, "Little friend, you are worrying too much. We are all here. How would the other party dare to attack us? In the blink of an eye, we can rush over to rescue them. Suyu said helplessly, I'm just afraid that the other party will lure us away from the mountain. In the sky, the old man stopped talking. The expert from the Pegasus tribe laughed and said, All right, fellow Taoists from the Iron Wing tribe, how about we go together? You are good at flying, so you can detect some hidden spots in time to avoid being ambushed. That would be embarrassing. All right. The Iron Wing tribe only sent one 9th level Ling Yun this time, so they weren't too worried. According to what they had said before, there wouldn't be any experts making a move until they reached the ruins. It was just to investigate and put on an act. The void trembled slightly, and the two experts flew towards the mountain. Suyu didn't say much. He sat down, got some food from Swan and I, and started eating alone. You're eating this? As he was eating, the Pegasus youth walked over and asked curiously, Can't you afford to eat delicious food? Suyu did not want to bother with him. I might not like what you horses eat. Suyu, is it useful for you to open so many apertures? With your talent, if you didn't open so many apertures, you might have already reached the sky. Suyu smiled faintly and said, Sky. I've killed quite a few sky. Is it useful? Alright, there was nothing else to say. On the other side, Xia Qing also brought some things over and handed some food to Suyu. Suyu waved his hand and said, You guys eat by yourselves. When you're out, don't eat anyone's food. It's best to only eat your own food. This is the basic survival law. Before he could finish his words, the Pegasus youth's hand stiffened. He still wanted to get some food from Xia Qing. Xia Qing smiled and didn't mind. She didn't pass them any more food. She smoothed her hair and asked, Brother Su, we're not far from Nanyuan, right? If everything goes smoothly, we'll be there by night. As she spoke, Suyu transmitted his voice to her. Remind the seniors to be careful, especially those on our side. Now that even the mountains and seas have appeared, I'm worried that someone might have guessed something. Xia Qing nodded without batting an eyelid. She said, Brother Su, we're still within the Great Xia Manor's borders and there's still a safety net. It won't be too safe once we leave the manor. Brother Su, we're killing demons, are we going to leave the manor? I heard that Nanyuan is close to the border. It'll be troublesome if we leave the manor. Depends on the situation. Suyu saw that everyone was listening, he smiled and said, Nanyuan is close to the Great Ming Manor. Under normal circumstances, they won't leave the manor. However, if a demon riot erupts from the Great Ming Manor, it might need to be dealt with. Of course, if everyone feels that it's not safe, there's no problem staying over at Nanyuan. As the few of them spoke, a violent Yuan-Chi collision suddenly erupted from the mountain in front of them. The void trembled as a few Tao protectors appeared one after another. They looked over solemnly. Damn it, it's that bloodthirsty fellow. A middle-aged man with some black fur on his face shouted in a low voice. He was somewhat anxious. The elder from the Cloud Tiger tribe quickly said, Don't lose your sense of propriety. It's fine. He can't do anything to that old heavenly steed by himself. After saying that, he quickly said, We'll wait and see. The old Pegasus will ask for help first. We can't leave this side. Although he said that, he was sneering in his heart. If the old Pegasus was killed, then so be it. It would just save them some trouble. At this moment, the two mountains and seas were fighting each other. The Blood Moon's sudden attack also injured the other party. However, the old Pegasus was very powerful. At this moment, the two of them were fighting, and the mountains and rivers were collapsing. A moment later, the Blood Moon fled, because a huge mountain had suddenly appeared. Chase! The huge mountain roared. Old Pegasus didn't hesitate either. He followed him swiftly in the direction where the Blood Moon had fled. Yunhu and the others sighed inwardly. What a pity. They had almost forgotten about the huge mountain. Old Pegasus' side was fine. Just as they were thinking about this, in the sky, the experts of the iron-winged race, who were still flying and watching the battle, suddenly let out a shrill scream. At the same time, a shocking beam of light rose up. With a PFFT, it directly pierced through the head of the iron-winged bird. With a bang, the other party returned to its original form, an incomparably huge bird. Following that, the headless bird directly fell. Bastard! Damn it! At this moment, the mountains and seas were shocked, and the experts of the Cloud Tiger race flew into the air. Suyu hurriedly shouted, "Leave some people here, be careful." As soon as these words were said, the Cloud Tiger clan expert trembled slightly, and his speed slowed down by a beat. At this moment, the expert that exploded out with a shocking light pillar instantly floated into the air and took the huge headless bird away. In the blink of an eye, he disappeared into thin air. Damn it! The old Pegasus and the huge mountain quickly rushed over. Following that, the old Pegasus roared angrily, "Devil-Eye Clan! Damn it, bastards, you dare to kill our human allies in the Great Xia manner, you're courting death. Too fast." They hadn't expected that there would be a second mountain and sea lying in ambush in the mountain. The Devil-Eye Clan was also skilled in illusions. This hidden fellow was extremely powerful and had concealed his strength from the others. With a sudden burst of power, he had instantly killed a 9th-level Ling Yun. At this moment, they had lost Blood Moon, and One-Eyed had also escaped. Old Pegasus and Huge Mountain chased after him for a while more. Soon, both of them returned. And at this moment, Suyu sighed, "That Zhang Fei, pale face. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories." Chapter 1040. 1040 Chapter 252 Continued. Fishing 3. Dead? This scene happened too quickly. He had never expected that his protector would die. He had been killed right under the noses of the 6 mountains and seas. Zhu Shan rushed over, his body shrinking. He looked at Suyu and said in a low voice, "Sorry, I couldn't stop them." Suyu waved his hand and frowned. He looked at the others and said in a low voice, "Mountains and seas." He then looked at Zhang Fei and said apologetically, "Sorry, Brother Zhan, I didn't expect it to be like this." Old Heavenly Horse said sullenly, "It has nothing to do with you. It was my mistake. I only wanted to chase after the bloodthirsty clan. I didn't expect there to be another guy hiding. Damn it. It was a bad start. 6 mountains and seas. They actually let someone kill a 9th-level Ling Yun right under their noses." The elder from the Yunhu clan also had an ugly expression on his face. One of them had died. Even though it wasn't the mountains and seas, the fact that one of them had died before they even reached their destination was out of his expectations. Just as they were feeling stifled in the void, the 2 middle-aged men looked at each other. After a long while, one of the stronger middle-aged men said telepathically, "Why did another mountain and sea appear? Boss, do you want to make a move?" They were arranged by Xia Huyo. The 2 brothers were blood brothers. Boss frowned and transmitted his voice, "We're not going to take action. Huyo said that we're only responsible for protecting Suyu's safety. Unless Suyu wants us to take action, we won't care about anything else. Besides, it's hard to tell who's friend and who's foe now." He couldn't figure out the situation either. The only thing he knew was that they had to listen to Suyu this time. Their mission was to protect Suyu, so they could release the rest. Even if the guy from the Wanzhou sect appeared, it would still be the responsibility of the others. The robust middle-aged man was a little depressed, and he transmitted his voice again, "Boss, who exactly is our target? Suyu is guarding against the single divine language faction. Do you feel that someone is following him?" "There might be." Boss didn't say much. He sighed in his heart and looked at Suyu in the distance. Everything that had happened today was all thanks to this person. How many people had died here today, it was most likely all because of this person's scheme. The younger generation was truly formidable. Could it be that he had plotted the death of the Iron-Wing Bird clan? Suddenly, two Mountain Sea Realm great demons appeared. Further back, Yu Hong and Old Jing also frowned. Yu Hong transmitted his voice, "Those two fellows, are they both from the Myriad Clan sect?" "You're asking me?" Old Jing was speechless. This was something that he had to ask you, but he didn't know. Yu Hong didn't say anything. A voice transmission talisman appeared in his hand, and he transmitted his voice to ask for a while. After a while, he said, "I'm not sure yet. There are quite a few experts from the Myriad Clan sect who came today. Some of them don't even know each other." Elder Jing nodded and didn't pursue the matter. It was best for him not to get involved in this matter. Who knew who Yu Hong was asking? This fellow from the Iron-Winged Bird clan is too weak. He was killed so easily. Elder Zheng was a little disdainful. After all, he was at the 9th level of Ling Yun. He died just like that. These weak races were indeed not strong enough. On the other side, Blood Raksha asked telepathically, "Blood Moon, what are you doing? We agreed to act together, what are you doing?" "Humph." Blood Moon also sent a telepathic message rapidly, "Idiot. I asked you to cooperate just now, so why didn't you cooperate? Of course, we had to kill a few of them. Do we have to wait until we reach the ruins before we risk our lives? Stupid. 6 mountains and seas. Do you think we have a chance to win? While they were protecting those people, we should find a chance to kill them one by one. Blood Raksha, are you out of your mind?" Blood Moon quickly said, "I've already contacted a fellow Taoist to work together. On your side, open the public channel. I'll talk to the other fellow Taoists. If they don't think the same way, we'll go our separate ways." How stupid of them to keep waiting. When they need to be distracted to protect those geniuses, we'll just kill as many as we can. Blood Raksha, are all the members of the Blood Fire sect stupid? Blood Moon turned around and questioned, "Don't let your stupidity delay the important matter. Blood Raksha, if you don't want to do it, then give up. It's no wonder that your Blood Fire sect is getting weaker and weaker. It's all because of idiots like you." He was cursing to his heart's content. He had backstabbed them. If they didn't do anything. If they did, they might have been able to kill the Pegasus just now. Blood Raksha was speechless. A moment later, an open channel appeared in the voice transmission talisman. Soon, someone sent a message. "Fellow Taoists from the Bloodthirsty clan, do you wish to talk to us?" "Yes. I'm wondering if you have the heart of the relic or if you have a plan. The 6 mountains and seas and Ling Yun aren't weakening their strength. Are you waiting for the final battle? Capturing Su Yu is the most important thing." Blood Moon questioned for a while before someone replied, "Blood Raksha, what do you think? Actually, we're curious as well. It's not a big deal to keep waiting." Blood Raksha also replied, "I know you guys are confused. Everyone, listen to me. Su Yu's goal this time is the relic. We don't need to capture him now. We can let him take us to the relic instead of alerting him now. He's been worried for a few times already. I'm worried that if this continues, he'll give up on this trip to the relic." Everyone received a different message. He knew that Su Yu was going to the ruins. As for the others, they wanted to capture Su Yu alive and interrogate him about the location of the ruins. Therefore, he could understand Blood Moon's choice, but he was helpless. Now, it might affect their plans, he could only say again, "We can only make a choice after we discover the ruins. Otherwise, even if we capture Su Yu, he might not tell us where the ruins are." Fellow Taoist Blood Moon, stop fooling around. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 1041. 1041 Chapter 252, Continue Fishing for. After saying that, he asked, "Is that fellow Taoist from the Demon Eye clan a friend of fellow Taoist Blood Moon?" "I don't know him." Blood Moon replied perfunctorily, "I met him. When I attacked him previously, he came here on his own, just like you. I feel that he is more reliable than you. He ambushed some experts and weakened them. I felt that it was feasible, so I cooperated with him once." Blood Raksha was also helpless. She quickly said, "Can we still contact him? If this goes on, Suyu will be forced to give up the opportunity to go to the relic. Then, it will be much more difficult for us to find the relic." Blood Moon said bluntly, "You didn't say it yourself and hid important information. Are you blaming us?" Blood Raksha, "If you don't want to cooperate, then break up. If you want to cooperate, then tell us everything. The 6 mountains and seas are not so easy to deal with. Compared to killing the 6 mountains and seas and seizing the relic, I think we have a better chance of capturing Suyu. What do the other fellow Taoists think?" "That's right. Capturing Suyu is much easier than killing the 6 mountains and seas. Attack them a few more times. In order to protect the geniuses of their race, some of them might give up on moving forward. This is our chance." Some people began to doubt Xue Luosha. Xue Luosha knew what they were thinking and quickly said, "Everyone, we still have allies. Mountain and Sea Realm." "That's right." Blood Moon directly said, "Who? I think I should give up on cooperating. There are so many mountains and seas, how should we distribute the remains? Let's just go our own ways. Whoever is lucky will be able to capture Suyu." Blood Rakshasa quickly said, "The other party doesn't want the remains. Does anyone believe what you say?" Blood Moon said this, and suddenly thought of something. He quickly said, "You're not talking about the single divine prose faction, are you? Unless they want to kill Suyu, no one from the religion of 10,000 races will give up on the remains." "That's right. How many people? Be careful not to be cheated." Blood Rakshasa, "Your choice makes me very uneasy. The single divine prose faction is unreliable. Perhaps they want to cooperate with the Great Xia government to destroy us." Blood Moon questioned again. After saying that, he exited the channel, crushed the voice transmission talisman, and disappeared. He ran away. At this moment, the other experts in the public channel didn't say anything. They were all worried. Cooperating with the people from the Divine Language faction. The other side didn't want the ruins. They were also worried about being cheated by the other side. Xue Luosha, your choice, also surprised us. Your trump card is them. If that's the case, we might as well cooperate with the Bloodthirsty Force and the fellow Taoist from the Demon Eye clan. It's also better than the people from the Divine Language faction." The remaining 2 mountain and sea realm experts were also questioning. This time, the Myriad clan had sent 3 mountain and sea realm experts. Xue Luosha was the strongest, so they were willing to cooperate. However, if they were to work together with the Shan Shenwen faction, then they might as well work together with the 2 other Myriad clans. They were all members of the Myriad clan, and were public enemies of the Great Xia prefecture. They wouldn't betray them. Xue Luosha was also speechless. He didn't even wait for me to finish. If he had known earlier, he wouldn't have opened the public channel. At this moment, she quickly said, "Fellow Taoist Blood Moon is too anxious. The other side doesn't dare to take advantage of me. Otherwise, I wouldn't be stupid enough to cooperate. I've grasped some things, and they don't dare to fall out with me. Otherwise, if this gets out, it'll be a huge blow to them." "What have you grasped?" "I won't say any more. Fellow Taoists, don't worry." The 2 of them didn't ask any more questions, but they were still worried. They were thinking that if they could find Blood Moon and Demon Eye and talk about cooperation, the 4 mountains and seas would have the strength to resist even if Blood Rakshasa had some ideas. Blood Moon was causing trouble, and Su Yu's expression was still grave. He looked at Zhang Fei and said in a deep voice, "Brother Zhang, I'm sorry for your loss. The death of the Iron Wing clan's senior, it was beyond my expectations. The other party was too bold. Now that 2 mountains and seas have appeared, it seems that some of my information has been leaked." As he spoke, Su Yu looked at the others and said in a deep voice, "I've thought about it. I can't joke about everyone's lives anymore. Retreat. Retreat. Back to the academy. I'm not doing this mission anymore. I'm only halfway through, and a Tao protector died." As soon as these words were said, Xia Qing and the others' hearts pounded. They couldn't help but want to curse. Curse who? Of course, it was that useless fellow from the Iron Wing clan. He was so weak, but he was actually killed. Su Yu seemed to have been frightened. Damn it, he wanted to go back. Then wouldn't it be useless this time? Xia Qing looked at Zhang Fei. She couldn't go back. If she went back, all her previous efforts would be wasted. They had already come this far. If they went back this time, even if Su Yu wanted to go out next time, he might not find them again. There was only this one chance. Zhang Fei suppressed the grief and indignation in his heart. Enduring the pain, he said, "Brother Su. I don't want to go back. My clan elder died. I want to avenge him. Those 2 fellows definitely won't give up. They will appear again." Zhang Fei looked at the other Tao protectors and said sorrowfully, "Zhang Fei would like to ask the seniors to help me take revenge. The Iron Wing clan will never mistreat the seniors." He didn't want to leave, and he couldn't. Although the clan elder had been killed, now that he said he wanted to leave, Xia Qing and the others would never let him go. Therefore, he couldn't leave. Moreover, he had to use revenge as an excuse to delay Su Yu and continue moving forward. Su Yu remained expressionless as he sneered in his heart. "I guessed it. If you kill him, then kill him. If you die, then die. You and Xia Qing are in cahoots. Now, you can't leave. If nothing goes wrong, the Tao protectors will agree to help you take revenge." As expected, in the next moment, the elder from the Cloud Tiger tribe quickly said, "This is a must. Bastard, you actually dared to kill people in front of us. If you don't kill those 2 fellows, then I won't give up." You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 1042. 1042 Chapter 252 Continued Fishing 5. The other Tao protectors also chimed in. Regardless of whether they were willing or not, the other party was killed right under their noses. Since Zhang Fei had said so, they would have to do their part to resolve it. Su Yu hesitated for a moment, feeling a little awkward. Very quickly, he gritted his teeth and said, "All right. Then let's continue. We've already lost a senior, and now we're returning without any results. I'm also not willing. The seniors must be careful from now on, and don't rashly split up." He laughed coldly in his heart. "There will be consequences for all of you from now on. Killing one would count as one." Of course, he still said again, "Ji Xiaomeng, the few of you can retreat. I'll ask Senior Jushan to send you back. You're not the target of the other party, so they won't rashly attack you." The few of them looked at each other and shook their heads. Su Yu did not say anything. He looked at Zhou Hao again and said, "Zhou Hao, are you leaving or not? If you're leaving, I'll get someone to send you back." Zhou Hao looked at the others and shook his head. "If they're not leaving, I'm not afraid. Anyway, they're going to kill you. Their main target isn't me." Su Yu smiled. "Fine. It's already so dangerous. Ling Yun is already dead, yet you guys are still not leaving. If you want to say that it's all for training. F*CKU, who do you think you are? I don't care anymore. He had reminded them again and again that if these people refused to leave, he wouldn't care anymore. He had fulfilled his responsibility. After that, these people were killed. He didn't feel any sympathy at all. At this point, those who did not leave had a purpose. Since they came with a purpose, they did not deserve sympathy even if they died. As for the students from the myriad tribes, Suyu saw some students' expressions change. They probably wanted to leave, but they were too embarrassed to say anything. For example, the young man from the Pegasus tribe was no longer carefree. He was a little conflicted. That girl from the Mountain Antelope tribe, well, let's call her a girl. That goat horn was really ugly. The other party was also conflicted. The one who was conflicted might not be Xia Qing's group. Suyu couldn't be bothered. If he didn't leave, then don't blame others if he died. Then continue moving forward. Senior Ju Shan, continue hiding nearby. Don't let the other party track you down. Hide your tracks and give them a deterrent. All right. The huge mountain disappeared quickly. Suyu then looked at the old man from the Cloud Tiger tribe and said apologetically, "This is a senior from the Cloud Tiger tribe, right? The Cloud Tiger tribe is extremely fast. Senior, do you think you can scout ahead to avoid being ambushed?" The old man from the Cloud Tiger clan was reluctant, but at that moment, the fellow from the Iron-Winged Bird clan who was good at flying was dead. He was indeed the fastest. After thinking for a moment, he didn't say anything more and quickly disappeared. He was fast, and now that he was on guard, he wouldn't be so easily ambushed. It would be good to stay far away. It would be convenient to contact someone. That bastard, we agreed that everything would be fine. Why would two mountains and seas appear to ambush and kill their people? The elder from the Cloud Tiger clan was also furious. Although that fellow from the Iron-Winged Bird clan wasn't very strong, he was still a part of the clan. Now that he was suddenly killed, he was a bit worried. Could it be that the monotheistic Divine Pros clan had betrayed them and wanted to kill them as well? The elder from the Cloud Tiger clan had left not long ago. Tianshui City. Suyu and the others weren't too far away. In a large courtyard, Zhou Pingsheng held a voice transmission talisman and frowned. He explained telepathically, "There's been a misunderstanding. The mountain and sea that attacked us came from the outer mansion. We didn't contact them before, so there's been a misunderstanding. I'll take care of this problem next." After explaining for a while, Zhou Pingsheng cursed in a low voice. "Trash. I was careless, and now that Ling Yun is dead, he has the nerve to question me." He didn't say much and quickly walked into the depths of the courtyard. A moment later, he whispered outside the door, "Elderly, the other party is about to arrive at Tianshui City. However, there's a problem with the Myriad Clan sect." "There's no need to tell me." Elder Li's voice sounded from within the courtyard. "I don't know anyone from the Myriad Clan church. Pingsheng, contact them yourself." Zhou Pingsheng was furious. "Are you trying to bluff me? Do you really think that you'll be able to escape after being found out? On second thought, perhaps you really can." If they didn't succeed in killing Suyu, even if they were caught, there was a high probability that they would be sent away. However, if they contacted the Myriad Clan sect, if they were caught, whether Suyu died or not, they would have to die. Zhou Pingsheng's heart was filled with hatred. At this juncture, these people still wanted to retreat. No wonder Shan Shenwen's faction had suffered so many losses. They all thought too much and cherished their lives too much. They had already reached the point where they were about to fall out and kill someone. Elder Li and the others weren't willing to step out and let him contact the Myriad Clan sect. He was extremely resentful in his heart. His strength was low, but his status wasn't low. He was Zhou Mingren's disciple, and the Myriad Clan sect had caught hold of him. Of course, they weren't afraid that the Divine One faction would betray them. If something really happened, he would be dead for sure, and Zhou Mingren would also be implicated. But Yu Hong and elderly might not be implicated. Unless they were caught at the scene, they could completely deny everything. Each and every one of you, at this stage, are still thinking of protecting yourselves. If anything happens to me, none of you can escape. Zhou Pingxing cursed in his heart, but he replied, I got it, elderly, then I'll get back to work. Go. Zhou Pingxing turned around and left, unable to hide the anger in his heart. If it wasn't for killing Su Yu, he wouldn't have taken the blame. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 1043. 1043 Chapter 253, Traces of Mountains and Seas, 1. Su Yu and the rest continued on their journey. At the same time, when One-Eyed saw Blood Crocodile, he couldn't be bothered to waste his breath. He directly said, go and kill Su Yu and the rest, create chaos, and split them up. Blood Crocodile, the expert from the Blood Fire sect who had organized the 10,000 Races sect to kill the genius team in North Wind City when Su Yu entered the school, had already betrayed the Blood Fire sect. He had organized a group of people and was preparing to establish the Heavenly Divine sect. At this moment, Blood Crocodile's expression was ugly as he looked at Ling Yun beside him. This bastard had tricked him. There was actually a mountain and sea realm existence behind him. Sir. Blood Crocodile said with a smile, of course, there's no problem in killing Su Yu. However, the other party has a mountain and sea realm existence on their side. There aren't many of our people in the air, so killing them would be suicide. Sir, there's no way we can split them up. He didn't want to die. He wasn't that bunch of idiots down there who knew some inside information. There were so many experts on Su Yu's side. Why did he have to die? The one-eyed man's face was ice cold. You want to resist me? I don't dare. Blood Crocodile laughed. Sir, I don't think a frontal attack will be of much use. Other than courting death, there doesn't seem to be any benefits. One-eyed cursed silently. I'm asking you to throw your lives away. Su Yu said to kill a few more to help him train and earn some money. You actually know that I'm asking you to throw your lives away? It's not easy. Didn't they say that the fellows of the Blood Fire sect were lunatics? They were willing to throw their lives away just by fooling around. Why wouldn't this guy be willing? Blood Crocodile saw One-Eyed frown and quickly said, of course, I know what Sir means. Sir wants to divide that group of people and then kill them one by one, right? Blood Crocodile quickly said, I think it's hard to separate them with such a strong attack. If you want to separate the mountains and seas, you have to separate the students of the 10,000 races. The mountains and seas are their guardians. Only when the students are separated can the mountains and seas be separated. The one-eyed man said coldly, what do you mean? I've observed them before. They have the Cloud Tiger, the Fox race, the Bull race, several races. Do you know the Heavenly Fox saliva, sir? The one-eyed man's eyes moved slightly. Yes. Blood Crocodile laughed. I do. This thing did not have much use. It was the same for the other races of the myriad races. However, for the White Fox race, this thing had a great allure. I heard that it could purify their bloodline and allow their bloodline to transform. Furthermore, the White Fox race's senses are extremely sensitive to this thing. Even if they are tens of miles away, the other party can still smell it. The one-eyed man looked at him with a twinkle in his eyes. The Blood Crocodile chuckled. My lord, come one by one and lure the Fox clan out first. Now, Ling Yun went to kill Su Yu with the Heavenly Fox saliva. He sensed danger from afar and ran away. Do you think that the Fox clan expert will chase after him? The one-eyed man frowned. The other party knows the danger and won't rashly chase after him. Even if they do, there might be more than one Mountain Sea Realm cultivator. The method wasn't bad. The key was that Ling Yun had already been killed, so the enemy might not be able to chase them out now. If he had known earlier that he wouldn't have killed the iron-winged bird, he might have really lured out the Fox clan's Mountain Sea. Unfortunately, he didn't know that this fellow had such a thing. The heavenly fox saliva was rarely targeted. Under normal circumstances, the humans wouldn't have much of a collection. Where did this fellow come from? My lord, why don't we give it a try? Blood Crocodile smiled and said, let's send the cannon fodder to try and reduce their wariness. After a few times, these people might not remember the previous danger. That mountain and sea fox might be able to endure it, but that little fox might not be able to. One-Eyed said coldly, the other party might not leave the team. Instead, they are encouraging the team to chase after them. Wouldn't that be letting them off easy? Blood Crocodile laughed. How about we give it a try? Sir, even if we fail, it's not a big deal. The heavenly fox saliva isn't very useful to begin with. It's only effective against the Fox clan. If it's really taken away by the other party, we won't lose anything. What's more, it's mine. What are you so anxious for? Anyway, he doesn't want to die. He doesn't want to die. There are so many mountains and seas there. The one-eyed man was silent for a moment, then nodded. You go and try. You take the heavenly fox saliva and try. You're afraid of death, so you can lure him out. Blood Crocodile cursed in his heart. Just as he was about to say something, the one-eyed man suddenly grabbed him. In the next moment, a thick, dark light shot out from his third eye and landed on his body. If you run, unless you can block my devil eye flame, you will die at the ends of the earth. The blood crocodile cursed in its heart. This beast had better be killed here. Otherwise, it would be difficult for it in the future. The attack continued. Su Yu gradually approached Jianshui City. Along the way, there were a few more attacks. Of course, the other party was not strong. At most, he was only in the Sky Realm. They were a group of scattered followers of the 10,000 races. They did not know what was going on. They might not even know that there was a mountain and sea protector. It should be said that they definitely did not know. Otherwise, they would not have had the guts to kill Su Yu. However, as Su Yu killed a group of people, the people he killed did not return. Gradually, the number of such attacks decreased. Even the scattered experts began to feel the danger. In the group, Baisu occasionally turned his head to look in one direction. He could smell it. The others couldn't sense it, but as a member of the White Fox clan, he could smell it, heavenly fox saliva. There were people following them from dozens of li away. More importantly, the other party had the heavenly fox saliva with him. His blood began to throb. Was it a trap, or did someone accidentally bring this along and not dare to attack them? You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 1044. 1044 Chapter 253, Traces of Mountains and Seas, 2. The clan elder should have felt it too. When the group stopped, the person at the back also stopped. He just followed them from a distance and didn't follow, nor did he go forward. The feeling of his blood boiling made Baisu feel very uncomfortable. In front, Su Yu suddenly turned his head and said, "Brother Bai, are you injured?" Baisu hurriedly replied, "No, I'm just a little worried." "Are there still experts following us?" "No worries." Su Yu smiled and said, "At this point, as long as we don't lose our bearings and don't split up, it won't be that easy to deal with 6 Shanghai realm experts." Su Yu looked into the distance and said, "There are still 2 hours until we reach Jianshui City. We won't enter the city to avoid bringing trouble to Jianshui City. If we take a detour, we'll reach Nanyuan in a few hours." Baisu didn't say anything. The boiling feeling in his blood was getting stronger and stronger. Damn it! Heavenly Fox saliva. He wanted to get it, but at this moment, should he say it or not? If he said it, would Suyu agree to cooperate with him to capture that expert? There was a high probability that he wouldn't. This could be a trap. Baisu suppressed the boiling blood in his body. It was a trap. If he wasn't tempted, neither should the clan elders. It was definitely a trap. Baisu comforted himself again and again. Wasn't it just the Heavenly Fox saliva? Although it was very important, I didn't care. In the void. The mountains and seas didn't gather together, but were scattered in all directions. At this moment, the Fox clan's mountains and seas had long sensed the existence of the Heavenly Fox saliva. They kept turning their heads to look behind them, their expressions changing constantly. He also felt that it was a trap. He could even sense that it was a Lingyun realm expert who had been following them. It was as if he was plotting something, but he did not dare to get close. They were very far away from each other, and he did not dare to get close. A trap, we can't go. Unless the few of them went together, the Fox clan's mountain and sea's eyes flickered for a moment. Suddenly, they sent a voice transmission to the others. There's Lingyun at the back, luring me to attack. The other party has the Heavenly Fox saliva. It's very likely that the two mountains and seas are hiding nearby. How about we attack together? Hearing this, the other mountains and seas looked at each other in dismay. Attack? While they were still thinking, the Wild Bull Tribe's mountain and sea quickly sent a voice transmission. Alright, but if you get the Heavenly Fox saliva, you have to give out the corresponding benefits. Seeing that the old bull had agreed, the Pegasus tribe and the Mountain Antelope tribe's mountain and sea didn't say anything else. In fact, they didn't really want to agree. But since the old bull had agreed, it wouldn't look good if they refused. The Fox clan's mountain and sea clan did not say much. They quickly said, the other party might have 2 or 3 mountain and sea experts hiding. We will leave 2 mountain and sea experts on our side. As for the rest, we will quickly attack that fellow together. These people have underestimated us. Although we are not of the same race, we are all allies of the human race. How could I hide it from everyone and put myself in danger? The Fox clan's mountain and sea clan snorted coldly in their hearts. Did these people really think that they were from the religion of the myriad races? Putting everything else aside, he was now allies with the Brute Bull clan and the Yunhu clan. How could he recklessly go alone without informing them? He wanted the Heavenly Fox saliva, and he also wanted his own life. Not long after, 2 Shanhai and 1 Lingyun swiftly rushed over to kill them. The void shook. Suyu quickly turned his head and saw a few figures shooting out. He frowned slightly. It was actually not that fellow from the Fox clan who went alone. Forget it, there was no hope. Blood Crocodile, couldn't that fellow run? Run more. He had heard of this fellow's name before. Back when he was on his way to school, the other party had led people to attack North Wind City. He had been hunted down by a few elders of the Great Xia Institute of Civilization for many days, but they had not been able to capture that fellow. Further away, Blood Crocodile felt the movements of the 2 mountains and seas. He cursed inwardly and turned around to run. The other mountains and seas actually helped him. Are they stupid? The other party has become stronger, but it's not good for you. If your plan fails, run. Blood Crocodile turned into a blood arrow and instantly broke through the void, disappearing. He carried the Heavenly Fox saliva, and the Fox clan experts could also sense him. They quickly chased after him with the old mountain antelope. Suyu frowned and shouted, "Seniors, don't run too far. Be careful of falling into a trap." Even though he hoped that they would fall into a trap, they still had to put on an act. However, falling into a trap was useless. The 2 mountains and seas and 1 9th level Lingyun, they wouldn't be able to take down One-Eyed. What a pity. Suyu sighed in his heart. Forget it, if these people could kill Blood Crocodile, it would be a good thing. That day when Nan Yuan's team was attacked, they were also from Blood Crocodile's organization. They could be considered as Suyu's enemies. Although Suyu was fine, Nan Yuan still lost a few students that day. The team continued to stop and reorganize. At this moment, not far away, a loud sound suddenly erupted. The figure of a huge mountain appeared. With a furious roar, he slashed out with his axe. In front of him, a blood moon rose. The huge mountain smashed the blood moon with his axe. On the other side, the old man from the Pegasus clan instantly appeared. Just as he was about to go and save them, Suyu shouted, "Don't leave." He couldn't leave. The old Pegasus was stunned. He couldn't help but curse angrily, "Old fox, come back. Damn it." The old fox had taken the mountain antelope tribe's mountain and sea. At this moment, there was only him and the wild ox tribe's mountain and sea. The cloud tiger tribe's mountain and sea was in another direction. This was their headquarters. They couldn't leave. If someone else broke in, it would be troublesome. These thoughts flashed through his mind, and a flame suddenly appeared behind the huge mountain. Careful! The old heavenly steed roared and struck out across space. However, by the time it reached there, the power had already weakened. The huge mountain was entangled by the blood moon, and in the next moment, the flames started burning on his body. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 1045. 1045 Chapter 253 Mountains and Seas, 3. At this moment, in the distance, the Cloud Tiger clan, mountains and seas, and the old foxes were all rushing over. Flames, those were the flames of the Demon Eye clan. The One-Eyed and Blood Moon's attack succeeded, and they quickly fled. Don't chase after them. Suyu shouted again, "Don't chase, they are splitting us up, don't run around." With that, he looked at Zhu Shan. At that moment, Zhu Shan was also flying towards him. When he landed, his body became smaller and his face was pale. There was still a flame burning on his body. He was burned by the Devil Eye flame. Zhu Shan said gloomily, "There is a little trouble. Next, unless the other party retracts the Devil Eye flame, I will have to spend some time to destroy this Devil Eye flame. Otherwise, my battle power will be greatly affected." The other mountains and seas also rushed over at this moment. Seeing the flames burning on his body, they all frowned. The old fox also said apologetically, "Brother Zhu Shan, I'm sorry, He had brought people to chase after the blood crocodile in order to snatch the heavenly fox saliva. In the end, the other party was not trying to ambush him, but to ambush Zhu Shan. This was troublesome. With the Devil Eye flame on his body, Zhu Shan's strength would definitely be greatly reduced. Of course, he did not mind. It was a good thing that Zhu Shan was injured. He still had to put on a show. Suyu frowned once more and looked at Zhu Shan. Senior Zhu Shan is injured, does he still have the battle prowess of the mountain and sea realm? The flames will gradually invade us. We still have it now, but I'm afraid that it will be gone in a while. How long will it take to suppress it? This is the demonic eye flame. The other party is stronger than me. It will take at least 3 days and 3 nights to suppress it with all our might. 3 days and 3 nights, Suyu frowned. We can't wait any longer. The longer we drag this out, the more powerful the other party will be, and the more news spreads, the more likely it will be that we'll lose another mountain sea realm expert. At this point, Suyu suddenly gritted his teeth. Retreat, we have to retreat. The other party is weakening our strength, so we can't be the target. Senior Jushan is too heavily injured. Jushan did not say a word. By the side, the old Pegasus did not care. If it did not work, then retreat. However, the Fox clan, the Bull clan, and even the Cloud Tiger clan's Mountain and Sea clan, who had just returned, could not agree. If they retreated, how could they continue? If they retreated now, the Divine One faction would definitely find trouble with them. The Cloud Tiger clan elder hurriedly said, "The Devil Eye Flame is troublesome, but if we work together, we can still help suppress it." Zhu Shan said sullenly, "No, if you work together to suppress it, it will consume too much energy. The other party may have this goal in mind. By consuming us, it will not be easy for the Mountain Sea realm to recover. In addition, the Yuan Qi here is weak, so it will be even more difficult to recover." The elder of the Cloud Tiger tribe smiled and said, "It doesn't matter. If we work together, it will consume some energy, so it won't consume too much energy. Brother Zhu Shan, don't think too much. We will work together to help you suppress it." At this time, they had to put in some effort. Otherwise, Zhu injuries would be too severe. He would really scare Suyu away. Although they wished that this fellow would be killed. But it was still too early. Suyu had not reached the ruins yet. Jushan looked at Suyu. Suyu frowned and said, "Seniors, will the energy consumption be too great when you suppress it?" "It won't be too great." The elder of the Cloud Tiger tribe smiled and said, "They will recover in a day at most. Then I'll have to trouble you seniors." The few of them smiled and did not say anything more. Just as they were about to attack, Suyu said, "It's better to keep 1 or 2 mountains and seas at full strength. Senior Pegasus and Senior Cloud Tiger, one to hold the line and the other to scout the path. We can't consume too much energy. I'll have to trouble the other seniors." The old man from the Pegasus tribe was just about to say something when he thought about it. "That's right. Forget it, I'll hold the line." The elder from the Cloud Tiger tribe glanced at Suyu, thought about it, and then looked at the powerful white fox. Seeing that the elder from the Cloud Tiger tribe was also persuaded by Suyu, the white fox tribe Shanhai thought about it and smiled. That was fine too. Suyu probably didn't suspect anything. Otherwise, there was no reason for the elder from the Cloud Tiger tribe not to make a move. That's fine too. The Fox tribe, the Bull tribe, and the Mountain Antelope tribe didn't say much. They quickly joined hands to help Giant Mountain expel the Devil Eye Flame. Everything went smoothly. The Devil Eye Flame was gradually suppressed. The One-Eyed Man was strong, but with Giant Mountain, the 4 mountains and seas were suppressing it. It wasn't a big problem. Seeing the flame gradually extinguish, their faces turned pale. However, they were about to succeed. At this moment, the flames suddenly intensified. Boom! A fire was born in the void. The powerful flames suddenly erupted again, burning the weakest expert of the Bull tribe. They were shocked and hurriedly helped to suppress the flames. After a while, they finally stopped. The Giant Mountain's face was also pale, and he couldn't help but curse, "Bastard! Damn it! He was nearby just now, and ignited my acupuncture points." At this moment, his face was pale. His body was covered in blood. He was badly injured. Of course, the Demon Eye Flame was completely extinguished. The unlucky warriors of the Bull clan were also badly injured. They wanted to curse, but they didn't know who to curse. F***ck. His injuries weren't light either. They were all caused by Zhu Shan. Zhu Shan's acupuncture points had been ignited, and the power of the Demon Eye Flame had increased greatly. If it weren't for the help of the mountains and seas, he would have been badly burned this time. Even so, the Fox clan and Shan Ling had consumed a lot of energy. Of course, the one with the heaviest injuries was still Huge Mountain. He could not say anything. Huge Mountain was unlucky. Even a few of his acupuncture points had been burned. It was a huge loss. It would take him a long time to recover. Huge Mountain said gloomily, "I'm fine. I burned a few acupuncture points. However, without the suppression of the demon eye flame, my combat strength can still reach the mountain sea realm. I will be fine after recuperating for a while. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 1046. 1046 Chapter 253, Mountains and Seas, 4. Thank you, fellow Taoists. After thanking them, Giant Mountain turned invisible again and disappeared. Su Yu hurriedly shouted, "Senior Giant Mountain, let Senior Pegasus patrol the outer perimeter. It's easy for you to be ambushed like this, so everyone must be careful. You and a few seniors who have expended a lot of energy, so as not to be taken advantage of." Jushan's figure appeared, and old Pegasus also said, "I'll patrol the perimeter, so you don't have to go. It's easy to be ambushed. Then, be careful, fellow Taoist." Jushan felt a little helpless. He said to the Fox clan and the Bull clan, "Then I'll go with you. I'll be a burden to everyone." "Fellow Taoist, you must be joking. We were too careless." The elder of the Fox clan cupped his hands and accepted Jushan easily. Jushan's injuries were not light, so it was indeed dangerous for him to patrol the perimeter. Furthermore, it was the old Pegasus that was patrolling, not them. It was only at this moment that the elder of the Bull clan said, "Did you get the heavenly fox saliva? The other party purposely lured you out. If you didn't get it, you'll suffer a huge loss this time." "I got it. That Ling Yun left the heavenly fox saliva behind." The fox elder laughed. His luck wasn't bad. He wasn't injured and had only used up some of his yuan qi. However, he had profited from getting the heavenly fox saliva. The two fellows, Giant Mountain and Bull, were rather unlucky. There was nothing he could do about it. The other party didn't ambush him. Who knew that the other party would be so bold to deal with Giant Mountain? Giant Mountain was also stupid. It was his fault for not running over to old Pegasus immediately. Otherwise, the other party's two mountains and seas wouldn't have dared to ambush him. He hadn't lost anything, and he had even earned a fortune. Naturally, he was in a good mood. The group continued on their way. At the same time, Su Yu's gaze was slightly strange. These three great demons weren't easy to deal with. Some things were arranged by him, and some weren't. For example, the ambush on Giant Mountain was their own idea, and he had just gone with the flow. He knew that the three of them were in cahoots, so he knew some things. If he didn't know that they were in cahoots, how could he know that the three of them were putting on a show and had severely injured Savage Bull in an instant? Of course, that wasn't the main point. The main point was that Huge Mountain had successfully integrated into the team. Previously, when he was patrolling the outer perimeter, he didn't have to patrol the outer perimeter. It was just that he wasn't familiar with the others, so he wasn't able to integrate into the team. If he integrated into the team, the other party would be wary of him and reject him. Now, he naturally blended in with the group. In fact, he even felt some sympathy for Bull. The old fox felt a little guilty towards them because he went to snatch the heavenly fox saliva. Even if he didn't think much of it, he still had to pretend to feel that way. Su Yu didn't bother about them anymore. He smiled in his heart. Huge Mountain, this fellow insisted on blending in with these mountains and seas. Let's see how he performs. Moreover, Jushan was injured, so it could lower the vigilance of the others. At the same time, in a mountain kernel, One-Eyed glanced at the blood crocodile who had just escaped. The blood crocodile said with a smile, "Sir, you have a brilliant plan. You seriously injured a mountain and sea. I am extremely impressed." One-Eyed couldn't be bothered with him. After waiting for a while, the blood moon appeared. Blood crocodile's expression changed slightly, but he didn't dare to make a sound. After a while, three figures appeared at the same time. Blood Raksha was here. Blood Moon, Demon Eye, you guys. Blood Raksha was very angry. These two fellows were too bold. They actually went to attack the other party. In the next moment, he suddenly saw someone and said coldly, "Blood Crocodile?" Blood Crocodile's heart was filled with fear. "Damn it, Blood Raksha." He didn't dare to say anything more and hurriedly said, "Cult Master, I am now the cult master of the Devil Eye cult." Blood Raksha frowned slightly. Devil Eye cult. One-Eyed said indifferently, "I established it. This person is still useful. I will use him for now." After saying that, he didn't take it seriously and said, "My name is One-Eyed. Are you the Blood Raksha that Blood Moon talked about?" Trash. He cursed, coldly, he said, "If you are willing to cooperate, killing one mountain and sea or even two would be fine. Why go through so much trouble to capture Suyu? As for cooperating with the single divine literature department, it's all a joke. If you want benefits, don't fight for them yourself. How can you expect others? If the single divine literature department cooperated with the Xia family, your so-called weakness would be a joke. It would be easily wiped out. The Blood Fire sect is indeed a fool. You." The one-eyed man ignored him and looked at the two mountains and seas behind him. "Which sect are you from? If you're from the Blood Fire sect, then there's no need to talk anymore. If you're not, then we can talk about cooperation. Shui Luosha is a good-for-nothing. Do you think you can get the relic if you count on him?" The two mountains and seas behind him looked at each other. Soon, one of them smiled and said, "The Divine Dragon sect, Yun Fei. Devil Scorpion sect, Red Dust." Shui Luosha looked at the few of them conversing and felt helpless. It was useless if he didn't come. These two movements were too big, and they had already attracted the attention of the two mountains and seas behind him. If he didn't come, they would have come looking for him. At this moment, there were 5 Mountain Sea Realm experts gathered here. Blood Moon said directly, "The Mountain Giant tribe is heavily injured. We are 5 against 6, and we are stronger than them. Shui Luosha is still at the 7th level of the Mountain Sea Realm, so he is confident in attacking. The other side also needs to protect the students. In my opinion, we should attack directly and capture Suyu." After saying that, he added, "If we drag this out, the Xia family will send people, and we will definitely die. I don't want to wait for death with that idiot." After saying that, the other 2 Mountain Sea Realm experts also nodded. If they dragged this out, it would be very dangerous. It would be best for the myriad clan religion to retreat with a single strike. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 1047. 1047 Chapter 253, Traces of Mountains and Seas, 5. Now, the commotion was getting bigger and bigger, and it wasn't too long. If it was any longer, the Xia family would be hunted down. Blood Moon said again, "Blood Raksha, you are the strongest. Previously, when you said we should cooperate, I listened to you. But now, if we drag this out any longer, we are courting death. We must act immediately or not at all. We must gather your so-called single divine literature department experts. If the other party is lying to you, they won't come at all. How can we talk about cooperation?" Blood Moon said coldly, "The other party has to appear and meet up with us. Look at the strength of the two sides. If the other party is too strong, be careful not to be cheated by them. Now that it's all up to you, you want to take charge of this mission." "That's right, Blood Raksha. Where is the other party? It's just a one-way communication with you. They're not sincere at all." The other two began to doubt. Blood Moon and One-Eyed smiled discreetly. Only by gathering together would they be able to capture all of them in one go. Only by gathering together would they be able to know how many people the other party had. Since they had managed to sneak in, it would be a pity if they didn't become the ones in charge. Of course, They weren't as strong as Blood Rakshasa. If they were stronger than him, they wouldn't have bothered with Blood Rakshasa at all. Blood Rakshasa wasn't too confident either. After giving it some thought, he nodded and said, "I'll give it a try. What you guys said does make sense. We really have to be careful of them betraying us." As she spoke, she took out a voice transmission talisman. After a while, she said, "Wait a moment. That guy went to ask for instructions." At the same time, Yu Hong took the voice transmission talisman and looked at it. She frowned and said, "Over there, let us meet up and act together. Otherwise, we won't work together anymore." Elder Jing frowned. "Isn't this inappropriate? Elder Yu, it's already extremely risky. If we meet up again, once we're discovered, we'll definitely die. This was very inappropriate. If we were separated and caught, can I just stroll around? If we regroup and get caught, then we'll be in big trouble." Yu Hong was silent for a while before saying, "It doesn't matter. If we're really discovered, we'll kill them to silence them. We'll counterattack and kill the experts of the Myriad Clan sect. It's not like there aren't experts who have infiltrated the Myriad Clan sect to counter-kill them." After saying that, he continued, "Many of them even opened their own sects and acted as human spies. As long as we didn't actually violate the interests of the Xia family, it wouldn't be a big deal. At the last moment, we will kill Su Yu. At that time, we don't have to worry about whether or not we are together with the fellows of the Myriad Clan sect." Old Zheng was still a little worried. After a moment, he said in a low voice, "It's best to finish them off after the matter is done. Eliminate them from the root. Otherwise, we will leave a huge amount of evidence." Yu Hong replied. This wasn't difficult. They had quite a few mountains and seas on their side, and if they cooperated with Yun Hu and the others, it wouldn't be too difficult to kill those fellows. The fellows from the Myriad Clan sect didn't know that Yun Hu and the others were also on their side. Half an hour later, Elder Jing Yu Hong arrived. His face was very illusory, and nothing could be seen. The one-eyed man snorted coldly and looked at the two of them. "Just the two of you? Isn't that enough?" Yu Hong's voice was sinister, and an aura burst forth. 7th level of the mountain and sea realm. Old Zheng's aura burst forth as well. 6th level of the mountain and sea realm. TSK, the two of you aren't weak." Blood Moon laughed gloomily. "But, if there really are only the two of you, it really isn't enough. Just the two of you, 7 against 6. In addition, the Great Xia Manor might have a mountain and sea watching in secret. 7 against 7, that won't do. If that's the case, when we reach the ruins, it'll be a life and death battle. It's better to capture Su Yu and force him to reveal the location of the ruins." Yu Hong said coldly, "There's still one person who hasn't arrived. He'll be here very soon. The other party doesn't have the late stage of the mountain and sea realm. Xue Luosha and I are both at the late stage of the mountain and sea realm. What's there to be dangerous about?" With that, he added, "You and that Devil Eye clan member, don't mess around with me again. Create trouble." Yu Hong was also furious. These two fellows had been causing trouble. If this continued, how would Su Yu dare to go to the ruins? The two of them were still fine. If a few more mountains and seas appeared, Su Yu would definitely not dare to go. He would definitely give up. They had also come with this purpose. They wanted to control Blood Moon and Devil Eye. Blood Moon smiled sinisterly and said, "That's fine. We won't cause trouble. However, if we really find the ruins, the two of you better not cause trouble. Also, if you don't kill a mountain and sea, we won't dare to believe it. The Xia family should have a supervisor. Our requirements aren't high, so we'll take care of the others. If you can kill that person, then we'll dare to trust you." When these words were said, the mountain and sea experts of the myriad clans fell silent. That's right. They want you to kill the people of the Xia family. Otherwise, how would they dare to trust you? Yu Hong's face was cold. After a long while, he said coldly, "All right. Then everyone will be happy." Blood Moon laughed and said, "Since it has been said, we believe in the two of you. We can work together. The two of you can take the lead. As for the Divine Literature Department, take care of them in the future. We are all on the same side." Yu Hong and Old Zheng ignored him and remained silent. One-Eyed also laughed. "Let's not talk about anything else. The mountains and seas are silent. We won't make a move so as not to attract attention. Let those idiots continue to harass us. We don't want them to be too quiet and feel that it's even more dangerous." "That's good too. This time, we'll clean up the scattered religion experts of the Great Xia Manor." The few of them didn't have any objections. The ones who died were the weak. Those idiots, if they died, so be it. At this moment, Su Yu's group was less than an hour away from Tianshui City. There were fewer attacks. Blood Moon and the One-Eyed Man did not appear anymore. Su Yu did not know anything else, but he only knew that Blood Moon and the others had seen two Shanghai realm experts. One was at the 7th realm, and the other was at the 6th realm. He had guessed at the 7th realm. The 6th realm, the one from the great merchant house. He was really bold. A single divine text, he was really bold. He really dared to meet up with them. "They're almost all here, right?" Yu Hong said that there was still one more waiting. It was probably elderly. The three elders were all here. On the Myriad Clan sect side, besides Blood Moon and the others, there were also 3 mountains and seas. This was 6. Cloud Tiger, Bull, and Fox were also 3. 9 mountains and seas. There were already 9 known enemies of the mountains and seas. Su Yu licked his lips. He had to speed up. He didn't want to delay for too long and arouse their suspicions. 9 mountains and seas, there were so many of them. Yu Hong and the others had enough respect for him. "That's enough. If I kill 9 mountains and seas this time, my name will be known all over the world." The prerequisite was that he had to live. "Speed up." Su Yu shouted, "Hurry up, the longer the better." The Swan Knee speed soared, and the mountain ox quickly followed with a few others. At this moment, the sun was shining brightly. As Su Yu moved forward, he shouted, "Take a detour ahead. It's just Tianshui City, go straight to Nanyuan." No one said anything, and they all followed. Along the way, there was less danger. On top of the mountain ox, Xia Qing looked at Ji Xiaomeng and Li Minyu with a strange look in her eyes. It was already so dangerous, and these two were still not leaving. What on earth were they thinking? You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 1048. 1048 Chapter 254 Ending at Starfall Mountain 1. The sun hung high in the sky, galloping on horseback. After approaching Tianshui City, there were almost no more attacks. Just as Su Yu was about to take a detour around Tianshui City, a group of soldiers appeared in front of him. Zhou Hao and the others were extremely vigilant, worried that the Myriad Clan sect was faking it. However, Su Yu saw someone he knew. Li Yunfeng. In the past, the expert who escorted Su Yu and the others to the academy, the vice commander of Tianshui City's city guards, was at the 7th level of the Soaring Sky Realm. Su Yu saw the other party, and the other party also saw Su Yu. From a distance, Li Yunfeng could feel it. Powerful. Shocking. Especially the demonic beast he was riding, its aura was powerful, causing the galloping cloud horse beneath him to tremble slightly. Swan and I. A top 100 race. Not only that, it was a Swan and I in the soaring heaven realm, and it was even at the peak of the soaring heaven realm. He recognized Su Yu. Just a few months ago, he had followed Zhao Li and the others to escort Su Yu to the Great Xia Manor. Of course, the main character that day was not Su Yu. Li Yunfeng's escort that day was to escort Hu Zongqi. He was the genius of Tianshui City. In his eyes, Su Yu back then was just an unremarkable genius of South Origin City. It had only been a few months. After a few months, meeting Su Yu again was actually under such circumstances. Riding his horse closer, his white clothes were as white as snow. Looking at Su Yu on the back of the Swan Ni, Li Yunfeng felt a murderous aura. He felt a murderous aura. Su Yu. Commander Li. Su Yu cupped his hands and smiled. Commander Li, are you dealing with the demonic chaos? Yes. Li Yunfeng nodded and looked at him, then at those students. His heart was slightly shaken. They were probably all geniuses of the Great Xia Civilization Academy. Including some strange demons. Were those students from the myriad races? Su Yu, what are you doing? I'm returning to Nanyuan. Su Yu said with a smile, there's also a chaos of demons in Nanyuan. Nanyuan City is requesting for help. I'll accept the mission and go to Nanyuan City to help. Do you need our help? You're too polite. Su Yu cupped his hands, he smiled and said, there's no need to trouble Commander Li. Oh right, we've killed some demons along the way. I only took a portion of the demon corpses of the soaring realm. I didn't bother with the large number of demon corpses of the Qianjun and Wanxia realm. If Commander Li doesn't mind, you can bring everyone back. Treat it as me treating everyone to a drink. Su Yu looked at the soldiers behind him and said with a smile, my father is also a soldier. When he saw all of you, he couldn't help but think of my father. It's a pity to waste those demon corpses. We obviously can't take them away. Li Yunfeng didn't say anything. He was only shocked. He had killed quite a number of people in the sky. He had heard some rumors before. At this moment, he couldn't help but ask, Su Yu, you have entered the sky? Not yet. These words were even more shocking. It was still fine if they had entered, but if they had not, killing a large number of soaring sky would be even more terrifying. Then. Many thanks. Li Yunfeng did not refuse. He thanked him and said, do you need to enter Tianshui City to repair yourself? There's no need. I can't wait to return. Su Yu smiled and said, Commander Li, then I won't disturb you anymore. I'll take my leave first. Please do as you wish. Li Yunfeng cupped his fists and waited for his group to quickly leave. Only then did he let out a sigh of amazement and sigh with emotion. Was this still the child that he had sent to the Great Xia Civilization Academy a few months ago? Now, in front of him, he felt ashamed of his inferiority. He, who was at the 7th level of the soaring heavens realm, could be considered a genius in Tianshui City. He sighed with emotion and continued to lead his group forward. Not long after, they saw a battlefield. There was a bloody scene, and over 100 huge wild demonic beasts were thrown into the wilderness. The soldiers behind him were also exclaiming in surprise. They were all people who had been on the battlefield. With one look, it was obvious that most of them were killed by the same person. Killed with one strike. The corpses were all intact. Looking at the distribution of the corpses, it was very likely that they were killed in an instant. Some of the soldiers did not know, Commander, was this killed by that student just now? Yes. Li Yunfeng nodded and sighed, remember, that is Su Yu, Nanyuan Su Yu, the top genius of the Great Xia Manor. The soul-devouring art and the twin Wu openings technique that the army is preparing to promote were all promoted by this genius. Once these words were said, only then did the others know who the other party was. Genius. A true genius. The Great Xia Manor is blessed. A soldier could not help but laugh. To think that such a genius would appear. It's a pity that we're older and younger by 20 years. After cultivating the soul-devouring art and the aperture synthesis art, we're already top-notch figures. His father. Su Yu, could he be the son of Nanyuan Su Long? Some of them even knew Su Long. Li Yunfeng nodded and said, yes, it's that fellow from the Demon Suppression Army back then. Old Chen, is he from the same period as you? He looked at a centurion in the team who was in the stone realm. The middle-aged man smiled and said, you can say that. I'm one period higher than him. Su Long. This fellow is amazing. He gave birth to such a genius son. When this news spreads to the Demon Suppression Army, those old brothers will probably die of happiness. After saying that, he laughed again and said, that fellow Su Long's luck is too good. He himself was not that good, but his old brothers did not disappoint him. His son did as well. I retired from the army 5 years later than Su Long. When I left, those brothers of his had already given birth to a few thousand-man captains. It's been more than 10 years, and I'm afraid they've all become 10,000-man captains. In the Demon Suppression Army, the 1,000-man captains usually soared into the sky, and the 10,000-man captains were in the Lingyun realm. Once these words were said, Li Yunfeng once again exclaimed in surprise, that Su Long and his men are really amazing. If Su Yu joins the Demon Suppression Army in the future, with his strength and talent, after he enters, he will have a chance to become the general of an army soon. The fortune of the Great Xia Mansion. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 1049. 1049 Chapter 254 Ending at Starfall Mountain 2. Those soldiers sighed with emotion. Some of the veterans from the Demon Suppression Army were grinning from ear to ear. Within the Demon Suppression Army, there was also a struggle for superiority. But outside, everyone was the robe of the Demon Suppression Army. Now that the son of an old comrade was so outstanding, these people were also honored. The next time they met other experts in the army, they could still boast that the son of someone from the Demon Suppression Army was Su Yu. Do you know him? Did they not know him? The soul-devouring art and the joint aperture technique that you cultivated were all Su Yu's, and they were all from our Demon Suppression Army. TSK, just thinking about it made them happy. They were instantly superior to others. Li Yunfeng listened to their discussions and watched them happily clean up those demon race corpses. He could not help but say, he's a genius, but his days are also difficult. Su Yu joined the multi-god language department in the Great Xia Manor. We warriors aren't clear about it, but those who know civilized masters should know the situation. There were really people who were knowledgeable, but when they heard these words, they immediately said, Commander, he's from the multi-god literature department. I really didn't notice it. Those days were a little sad. I heard that in some places, the multi-god literature department is going to be abolished. However, Su Yu is such a genius, is he alright? He should be fine. A genius like him has created so many useful cultivation techniques. He should be treated as a treasure. How could there be any trouble? The soldiers discussed among themselves and didn't pay too much attention to it. In their eyes, Su Yu was so talented, especially those cultivation techniques that were so powerful. How could the Great Xia Mansion find trouble with Su Yu? The next time we see the other city guards, we have to tell them that the cultivation techniques they cultivate were created by our Demon Suppression Army. Old Chen, I'll return them to your Demon Suppression Army. You've long retired from the army. You're a city guard now. You're from Tianshui City, not Nanyuan City. You still want to get close to them. The soldiers joked and were in a good mood. This time, not only did they see Su Yu, but they also obtained a lot of demon beast corpses. Even if the cadets would reward them, the corpses were still valuable. And from the looks of it, the other party did not reward them. Under normal circumstances, killing the demon race was a meritorious deed. The prerequisite for reward was to collect some special parts of the demon race. It was impossible for them to reward you without any proof. After the soldiers finished collecting the demon beast corpses, they continued forward. Sure enough, they encountered some more demon beast corpses. In front of them, there seemed to be more, but there seemed to be other people collecting them. A few of them who were unhappy with the sight quickly went over to negotiate. This was a gift from Su Yu to them. He did not say that he would give it to anyone else. After a while, the news of Su Yu returning to the southern Yuan and killing over 1,000 demons on the way instantly spread through the surrounding cities. Some of the soldiers who had retired from the Demon Suppression Army could not wait to spread the news that they were members of the Demon Suppression Army. They had created the fusion technique and the soul-devouring art. It was all done by members of the Demon Suppression Army. In just half a day, Su Yu's name had spread throughout the 28 cities of Great Xiao. At this moment, Su Yu was getting closer and closer to the southern Yuan dynasty. The 10,000 clans sect had stopped fighting. There were no more attacks. All the idiots were dead. In the sky, there was some intelligence. With so many people dead, they all started to cower. Nanyuan City. On the city wall. City Lord Wu Wenhai, Mansion Elder Wang, City Guard Commander Zhang Yun, Vice Pavilion Master Zheng Hua, and Long Wu Wei Shi Chang Xia Bing had all arrived. Looking into the distance, Wu Wenhai sighed emotionally. Su Yu. Old Xia, have you thought about it? It's only been a few months. Just now, Vice Commander Li Yunfeng called me from Tianshui City and thanked me for quite a while. This fellow isn't old. Previously, when I went to Tianshui City to do something, he was very arrogant. He was truly moved. He knew about Li Yunfeng. The members of the Li family of Tianshui City were geniuses themselves. They were at the 7th level of the soaring heaven realm and weren't too old. They were only in their early 30s. With such a high position, the status of Tianshui City was much more important than that of Nanyuan. As the city lord, when he went to Tianshui City to handle some matters and saw Li Yunfeng, he had to lower his head. Yet, the other party took the initiative to thank him. Xia Bing also had a complicated look in his eyes. He knew that Su Yu was a genius, but he had not expected him to be so talented. Su Yu had returned in less than half a year, and he had returned in such a manner. At the side, the old mansion master chuckled and said, "My Nanyuan Middle School is amazing, right? Does it have anything to do with you?" Wu Wenhai teased, "Old Wang, that's not your student. It's old Lu's." Same thing, Su Yu dares to say that he did not graduate from a middle grade school. The old manor head laughed, "Amazing, when he left, I knew that this brat would rise to fame sooner or later." As expected, he managed to make such a name so quickly. Although he laughed very quickly, his expression changed. "It's just that he's a little too flamboyant. This brat, when we go out, it's better to keep a low profile. It's not like the other big cities like Beifeng. Some of them even have the city lords backing them up. Do we really expect old Wu to back us up?" Wu Wenhai did not say a word. He was a little depressed. This was too heart-wrenching. There was nothing he could say to refute it. Nanyuan was truly weak. There were not many of them in the air, and even though he was one of the 28 cities, he was not as strong as some of the other big cities. As the few of them were chatting, dust rose up in front of them. A golden light appeared. It was a swan eye. Its aura was powerful. On the city wall, Wu Wenhai exclaimed, "That's the swan eye that Li Yunfeng spoke of, right? The top 100 races, soaring high in the sky. Even the ones they ride are stronger than you, sigh." The old manor head once again pricked his heart. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 1050. 1050 Chapter 254 Ending at Starfall Mountain 3. Wu Wenhai was speechless and a little sad. You still dare to talk. However, he was also a little shocked. This fellow, Su Yu, was really capable. In less than half a year, he was already riding a swan and I back home. As the few of them were talking, a city guard exclaimed, "So many demon beasts." Yes, so many demon beasts. They were all corpses. Outside the city, Su Yu happened to encounter a group of demonic beasts that were in a riot and killed them. Coincidentally, they were not far from Nanyuan City, so he dragged them back. They were strung together, and the mountain drill cow and swan Ni were responsible for dragging them back. Hence, a cloud of dust was swept up. As for the damage, the demonic beast corpses were extremely sturdy. They had just died, so they were not so easily damaged. Nanyuan. They had arrived. Su Yu looked at the city in front of him and the dilapidated city. Compared to the Tianshui city he saw on the road, and compared to the Great Xia Manor, Nanyuan was too small and too dilapidated. In the past, he did not think so, but compared to now, it was really dilapidated. Even though it was dilapidated and weak, Su Yu still liked Nanyuan more, because this was his home. He spent 18 happy years here. Here, he made some friends and some teachers. Swan Ni galloped quickly and approached the city wall. Su Yu stepped into the air and instantly stepped onto the city wall. He shouted, "Greetings City Lord, greetings Manor Head. Su Yu, you're back." Su Yu said loudly and looked at the old Manor Head. At this moment, he suddenly felt so familiar. When he saw Xia Bing, he bared his teeth and smiled. He couldn't help but feel a little absent-minded. He also saw Chen Qinghe, Chen Hao's father. At this moment, Chen Qinghe was also looking at him with a smile. His face was full of joy. "It's good that you're back." The old mansion master looked at him and sighed. He walked forward, patted his shoulder, and then kicked him. He laughed and said, "You don't have any rules. Your friends are all downstairs. Aren't you going to entertain them? You don't have any manners of the southern Yuan people." Su Yu smiled. The old manor head seemed to have gotten older. However, he seemed to be in good health. When he saw the old manor head, he couldn't help but recall the past. Every day, he was scolded by Lu Laoshe until he was in a mess. He had taken the blame for countless times, and his beard was nearly pulled out. It was a pity that Lu Laoshe was no longer here. Instead, he had gone to the extremely dangerous battlefield of the heavens. After exchanging a few pleasantries with the old manor head, the city gates below opened. The city guards had already gone to welcome the students who had returned with Su Yu. Su Yu shouted towards the bottom of the city wall, "All of you go and fix yourselves up first. The mission isn't urgent, so I won't be accompanying all of you. I have to go home later." Everyone below nodded and followed the city guards to the place that Nanyuan had arranged for them. At this moment, the sky was starting to turn dark. Traveling through the night, Su Yu was a little tired, but he was fine. He went down the city wall with Xia Bing and the others. After walking for a while, the old manor head seemed to have something to say. Su Yu asked, "Senior Zhu Shan, has everyone else left?" In the air, Zhu Shan did not appear. He said telepathically, "All of them have left. However, Nanyuan seems to have a Shanhai realm existence. I can sense it, but I don't know where it is." Su Yu was not surprised. It was likely that the Xia family was here to investigate the ruins. With the Xia family, the sun, and the moon around, it was good too. Yu Hong and the others would not dare to go near the South Origin City. Su Yu laughed in his heart. If he said that the ruins were in South Origin City, he did not know if they would attack the city directly. The old manor head did not care too much. Knowing that someone was protecting Su Yu, he heaved a sigh of relief and said softly, "You are back. Rest for a few days and relax. After the new year, go back to the Great Xia Civilization Academy. Do not mess around, understand? The old mansion master did not say much. He just felt that the Su Yu who returned today was completely different from the day he left. He had changed too much. It was not his appearance or strength, but his temperament. When he left, Su Yu was a little bookworm. He was a modest gentleman, refined and easygoing. Although he was a little pretentious, from the look in his eyes, he was a modest gentleman. However, looking at the Su Yu today, he had changed a lot. It was very similar to the moment when he saw Lu Wenyan more than 40 years ago. Later, after more than 40 years of training, Lu Wenyan had become what he was today. Su Yu smiled and said, "Old mansion master, don't worry. I'm not that kind of person." As he said that, he changed the topic and said, "Has my father sent me a letter? In the Great Xia mansion, I haven't received a single letter. He's here, he sent a message." Behind him, Xia Bing did not say much. Now that they were talking about this. Only then did he speak, he didn't say much. "Did your father say that he had any friends? If not, he will introduce you to a centurion's daughter. She is very good looking." The old manor head huffed and laughed. Su Yu was speechless and did not know whether to laugh or cry. "That's what my father said." "Yes." Xia Bing also laughed, "Don't worry about anything else. The demon suppression army doesn't have many battles in the past half a year. There might be a group of demon suppression army taking turns to retreat from the front line to the human camp, which is the rear of the heavenly battlefield. Your father might be in this group of people, so it'll be safer." After saying that, he looked at Su Yu and said, "With your current combat strength, it won't be a problem for you to join the Demon Suppression Army or even the Dragon Martial Guards. The Dragon Martial Guards welcome you to join. Your father's biggest wish is to join the Dragon Martial Guards." Su Yu smiled and said, "Forget it, I haven't graduated yet." "You." Xia Bing had nothing to say and said helplessly, "You've killed quite a number of people, haven't you?" "It's all right." Su Yu smiled and said, "Uncle Xia, is there a strong person from Nanyuan?" You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 1051. 1051 Chapter 254 Ending at Starfall Mountain 4. Xia Bing did not say anything. Su Yu smiled, "Others might not know, but you and the city lord probably do. The Dragon Martial Guards are the Xia family's private army, how could they hide it from you? The other party's food, drinks, and rest were definitely arranged by Xia Bing and the city lord. It was impossible for them to come directly, and they were not informed." Xia Bing wanted to say something but stopped. Su Yu said calmly, "It's fine. I talked to Lord Xia Ho about this. He came for me. Ruins, right?" When he heard Su Yu mention Lord Xia Ho so easily, Xia Bing did not hide it anymore. He nodded, "They're here. They're from the Dragon Martial Guards, the secret guards. The Dragon Martial Guards have both light and dark teams. We are the light, they are the dark, and the secret guards are the true core strength. A commander is here." "Commander, what strength?" "Probably the sun and moon." Xia Bing shook his head, "I'm not too sure about that. There aren't many secret guards, and they're all experts. That lord brought a few subordinates, and they're all Shanghai realm experts. The other party might be the sun and moon, but I'm not too sure about the rest." After saying that, he added, "As for why they're here, I'm not too sure either. Your guess is probably right. Uncle Xia, aren't you afraid of finding trouble with me if you really tell me?" Xia Bing smiled and said, "It's fine. You know very well that they came to look for your things, so they should at least inform you. I'm not considered to have revealed any secrets. In the Dragon Martial Guards, the manor head had once said that whoever had an opportunity would be their own. Whoever got it would be his luck. He would take it by force. Unless he was willing, otherwise, it would be a violation of his personal interests. The great Xia manor would not allow such a thing to happen, even if those few found it, they would have to discuss it with you. Suyu smiled and said, "Is that so? Then why did you come looking for me without asking me?" Xia Bing was at a loss for words. Suyu smiled and said, "It's fine. Let them do what they want." Suyu did not care. Did Nanyuan have any ruins? I don't even know. If you have the ability, go look for it yourself. Finding it is your ability. According to the rules, you have to share 30% with me. If you have the ability, then go look for it. How many people from the mountains and seas have come? I see 3. Suyu nodded. 1 sun and moon, 3 mountains and seas. That was very important. They were more than 300 li away from Starfall Mountain. It wasn't too far. With the speed of the sun, moon, and mountains and seas, it wouldn't take too long to get there. Of course, after all, 300 li would still take some time. They might need to collect a corpse. Suyu did not say anything else. He casually took out a merit card and handed it to the old manor head. He smiled and said, "Manor head, when Teacher Lu wrote the Thunder Origin Saber for me, you asked me to return it 100 times in the future. It's fine now. I'll give it to you. You should make good use of it." The old manor head looked at him and frowned. "You took my joke with old Lu seriously." "I took it seriously." Suyu smiled and said, "You have to take it seriously. If I have the ability, then I have to return it. Old man, it's nothing to me to nurture more junior brothers and sisters. You brat, your tone is not small." As he said that, the old mansion master suddenly smiled and said, "When you talk about Lei Yuan Dao, I have to say something. That B** starred old Lu wrote 4 strokes that day. The remaining 5 strokes are all fake." Suyu didn't know whether to laugh or cry. "No wonder I felt that something wasn't right back then. I thought that I didn't preserve it properly and destroyed it. So that's how it is." The old mansion master also chuckled and laughed happily. "I've been suppressing this matter for a long time. Only old Lu isn't around. Otherwise, I'd see if he would have the face to stand here." Suyu also laughed for a while, then, he looked at Xia Bing and said, "Uncle Xia, please pass a message to my father. No matter what you hear, just pretend that you didn't hear it. He's living a good life. As his son, I've grown up and made my own choice. I won't be wrong." Xia Bing nodded and didn't ask any more questions. The old mansion master glanced at Suyu and didn't ask anything. They were almost at their own residential area. Suyu smiled and said, "Then I'll go back and take a look first. Tonight, I'll go out and prepare for a mission to kill those demonic beasts that are in chaos nearby. Actually, it's not a big deal. Those few mountains and seas can be easily dealt with." The old mansion master didn't say anything. "Since you know, you still want to come back. This kid is not honest." After bidding farewell to the old manor head and the rest, Suyu entered his own neighborhood. The sky was already dark. Suyu kept a low profile and did not meet many people. Very soon, he walked into his own house. Opening the door, he felt a little unlucky. After half a year without anyone staying, a lot of dust had fallen from the house. Yuan Qi shook for a moment as the dust scattered and the house was restored to its original state. Suyu sat on the sofa, thinking silently. After a while, there was a knock on the door. Suyu turned his head to look and said calmly, "Come in. Student Su, you are not welcome." Laughter could be heard from outside the door. The door was not even opened, allowing someone to enter. This was not the way to treat a guest. "Welcome, I'm too lazy to get up." The person outside the door laughed as the door opened automatically. An old man walked in and said with a smile, "Do you need to introduce yourself?" Suyu stood up and said with a faint smile, "There's no need. Greetings, sir. There was no need to ask. It should be that commander of the Dragon Marshal's secret guards. A Sun-Moon realm expert. Otherwise, Zhu Shan would not have kept quiet. I've wanted to come and take a look for a long time. Unfortunately, young friend is not here and master is not here. If you come without asking, then you are stealing. The old man looked at the room and said with a smile, young friend, the Marquis should have mentioned it to you. What do you think? Nothing much. Su Yu smiled. I don't know what ruins it is. You found it. That's your ability. If you can't find it, then don't ask me. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 1052. 1052 Chapter 254 Ending at Starfall Mountain 5. The old man nodded slightly and suddenly asked, little friend, why are you returning to the southern Yuan at this moment? Su Yu smiled and said, what is it that you want to ask, sir? The old man shook his head. Don't misunderstand. I sense that the fellow Taoist protecting the path seems to be injured. Do you need my help? This is also what the Marquis wants. If little friend speaks, this old man can help. No need. Su Yu said calmly, thank you, my lord. Also, pass on my gratitude to Lord Ho. Did Lord Xia want to do him a favor now? There was no need. Then it's fine. The old man did not insist and quickly said, but Lord Ho also wanted me to pass on a message. The great Xia Manor might have some problems, but they can be solved sooner or later. You don't have to be too disappointed. Understood. Su Yu smiled and said, thank you, Master Ho. He did not say anything more. The old man did not say anything more. He stood up and quickly disappeared into the house. A moment later, the huge mountain appeared and said in a low voice, why didn't you ask for help? I think the Xia family still has the intention to help you, perhaps to solve this problem, you do not need to leave. Su Yu smiled and said, there's no need. There's no need to owe me a favor before you leave. Moreover, is it a favor that I owe? Lord Xia is good at doing business, but he's a little too shrewd. The people of the Great Xia Mansion have even colluded with the Myriad Clan sect. If his people take action to solve it, he even wants me to remember a favor. It seems that Lord Xia has done business to the bone over the years. Is this a favor I owe? No. Your Great Xia clan has encountered such a problem. The Divine Pros clan even dared to collude with the Myriad clans, and they even tried to assassinate me and seize my ruins. If your people want to make a move, you still have to make me remember your favor. I can only say that, Lord Xia has been too focused on exchanging benefits all these years. At this moment, the Xia clan had struck with lightning speed and killed those people before he arrived at Starfall Mountain. Su Yu actually admired them a little. As for the obstacle of unrivaled Dao attainment, if you let it go, would the other party really remember the favor? Su Yu did not think that the Divine Pros faction would think so. The Xia family had too many worries. They were thinking too much. Perhaps he still could not understand and could not understand, but now, there was no need to understand. Are your injuries all right? Su Yu did not dwell on this and asked. The huge mountain said in a deep voice, it's all right. You will recover soon. That's good. Su Yu looked at the time. It's better to leave early than late. We'll set off at night and arrive at the place before daybreak. Do as I say. Okay. Su Yu looked at him deeply. After this, if you want to leave, I'll get someone to escort you out. I hope that senior won't seek his own death at this time. Understood. Zhu Shan didn't say much. Just as Su Yu had said, betraying him at this time was courting death. The Zhu family and the Xia family were both invincible families. At this moment, everyone was paying attention. Su Yu even rejected the Xia family's help because in Su Yu's opinion, he shouldn't have been asked to ask for help in the first place. That was why someone would help. Xia Huyo, especially Xia Huyo, didn't represent the Xia family. The 2 Dao protectors that Xia Huyo sent over were a favor. As for Lord Xia, it really did not count. Su Yu did not remember this favor. After staying in the old house for a while, the sky was already completely dark. He walked out of the old house and closed the door. Su Yu turned his head to take a look and smiled. He hoped that the next time he came back, there would be someone in this house. If his father did not come back, this house would be almost ruined. He walked out of the neighborhood and arrived at the city gate. At the city gate, figures appeared one after another. Su Yu repeated, "You guys can split up. You can also come with me. If you come with me, the danger will increase greatly. Think about it yourself." At this moment, Zhou Hao did not insist. He said directly, "I'm going to kill the demon. If I don't go with you and kill the demon, can I directly exchange for merit points from the Southern Yuan?" "Yes." Zhou Hao grinned and said, "Then I'll go alone. I won't go with you." He was really here to kill Yao. Along the way, he had killed quite a number of people. Now, even if he did not ask and Su Yu did not say anything, he also sensed that something was wrong. "I don't care about what happens next. I'm going to kill Yao. As for the rest, I'll leave it to you." Su Yu smiled. "I thought you would go with me. It's too dangerous." Zhou Hao said seriously, "I'm only at the 5th level of the 10,000 stone realm." Yes, the 5th level of the 10,000 stone realm. This guy's progress was also very fast. "Alright then, do as you wish." Zhou Hao did not waste any more words. He held a knife and directly left the city. He did not want to go. He just wanted to kill some demons and earn some money. As for what Su Yu wanted to do, he did not care. Previously, he thought that he could still help a little and return the favor. But when he really saw Su Yu's strength and the attacks of the mountains and seas, he understood that it was better for him to go as far away as possible. This was not something that he could get involved in. "Ji Xiaomeng, what about you? And Senior Chen, what about you guys?" Su Yu looked at the others. "Let's go together." Su Yu nodded. It would be fine if they went together. He had reminded them several times. At this time, they were already in the Southern Yuan. If they still wanted to go together, then let's go together. "Let's go." Su Yu rode on the Swan Ni and set off once again. The city gates opened. A group of people also changed into galloping cloud horses and followed. They sped all the way towards the direction of Mount Xingluo. Not long after they left, a few figures appeared on the city walls. "Sir, do you want to follow?" "No need." The old man said softly, "Let's wait. We're out of the territory of the Great Xia Manor. It's against the rules to enter his manor for no reason." The few mountains and seas didn't say anything. "Wait? Wait for what?" The old man didn't say anything. He took a deep breath. "Marquis, you want to sell a favor. I don't think you sold it." This was probably the first time. As for Su Yu, he didn't care about that at the moment. Nanyuan City was gradually getting further and further away. He didn't wait any longer. He was no longer on guard. At this moment, no one would make a move against him. "Starfall Mountain, here I come." He sped along. After more than 2 hours, a huge mountain range appeared in front of him. Starfall Mountain, he had arrived. Starfall Mountain, the land of falling stars. It was rumored that in the past, there was a huge star that fell here and smashed out a huge valley. The surrounding earth veins bulged out, which was why the name of Starfall Mountain was created. Starfall Land, good name. Su Yu laughed. It was indeed a good name. Into the mountains. Suyu, a light shout, quickly rushed to that huge mountain range, arrived at the place. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 1053. 1053 Chapter 255, Layer After Layer 1. Outside Starfall Mountain. When Suyu and the others entered the mountain, the void outside the mountain shook. It's actually here. A group of mountains and seas appeared. Yu Hong exclaimed in surprise. So that was how it was at Starfall Mountain. Shui Luosha was also surprised. At first, she was surprised, then, she nodded and said, "It's normal to be here. There are some legends in this Starfall land." Back then, the Heavenly E Divine Sect occupied Starfall Mountain. The Heavenly E Divine Sect leader had been hibernating here for many years. It's just that he didn't expect to be wiped out in the end. Starfall Mountain is too big. It's better to follow Suyu and the others first. Yu Hong said this and smiled. It's good to be here, outside the Great Xia Manor. It was a good place. It was really a good place. The Great Ming Manor was a bunch of salted fish. As long as you didn't go overboard and didn't encroach on the Great Ming Manor's interests, the other party wouldn't bother with you. And this place didn't belong to the Great Xia Manor, so it wasn't easy to manage the Great Xia Manor. It was too good to be here. It wasn't just Hong Kaisen, the others were the same. Shui Luosha also smiled. This is a good place. He, Suyu, is like the stars, and his talent is unmatched. If he dies here, it can be considered as letting him down. 8 mountain and sea realm experts. At this moment, elderly had also gathered. 8 mountain and sea realm experts, and there were only 6 on the other side. Even including the one from the Xia family, there were only 7. Not a single one from the late stage of the mountain and sea realm. Of course, the strength of the Xia family was still unknown. So far, they had yet to show any signs of them. On their side, there were 2 7th level of the mountain and sea realm. Shui Luosha was confident, and Yu Hong laughed. He, Suyu, is not worthy of this Starfall land. The few of them laughed. Shuiyu laughed, "Don't talk about that. This Starfall Mountain is indeed a good place. It is located in the Daming Manor. Everyone knows that the Daming King and Zhu Tiandao do not meddle in other people's business. The Zhu family is not strong, and there are not many suns and moons in their territory. The few great academies are also in the mountain and sea realm. They are still far from the Tiandu Manor. Looks like we can all make a fortune this time." With that, he looked at Yu Hong and said, "Just the few of us. Are there others?" Yu Hong said indifferently, "Aren't we enough?" Blood Moon didn't care. One-Eyed said, "I've gathered a group of scattered religion experts and used them as cannon fodder. If there were more people, Ling Yun would be able to tie down the mountains and seas. It would be best for the others to bring some weaklings and guard the outer perimeter to prevent anyone from escaping. This Starfall Mountain isn't small. Once they really escape, if they have some ability, it would be difficult to hide it from the mountains and seas." One-Eyed sneered. "If we escape, we'll just have to find another place to survive. However, even if we enter the ruins, we still need time. Therefore, we have to seal off Starfall Mountain from the start." Blood Moon added, "That's right. Not only that, we also have to seal off the sound transmission channel here." Blood Moon said solemnly, "Don't think that those people didn't bring long-distance sound transmission talismans. You can't take any chances. Once the other party asks for help, the sun and moon will come to help. That would be a huge problem. We need at least 1 or 2 mountains and seas to be responsible for sealing the voice transmission channel." When these 2 people said so, the others couldn't help but nod. They had thought it through thoroughly and indeed needed to do so. Yu Hong also smiled and said, "Seal the voice transmission channel. Our people will do it." Don't worry, we won't let the news leak out. That's for the best. Blood Moon snorted and said, however, if your people come, you'd better inform us. Otherwise, swords and spears have no eyes. I don't care if they are enemies or friends. If you don't know them, don't blame me if you kill them. Yu Hong snorted. Seeing this, Blood Raksha hurriedly advised, everyone, this is a rare opportunity for us to work together. Don't ruin our friendship over a small matter. Friendship? Blood Moon sneered and didn't think much of it. Seal it. It would be better if it was sealed. They couldn't be bothered to say anything else. They quickly disappeared into the void and hid inside. In the mountain. Suyu got off the Swan Ni and started to walk instead of riding it. He held a map in his hand and started to search. Xia Qing went forward and said in a low voice, Brother Su, don't you have a specific address? It's my first time here and I forgot. Suyu said calmly, I only remember that I'm in this mountain. Of course, I still remember the environment of the entrance. As long as I find it, I will recognize it. Beside him, Ji Xiaoming asked curiously, what are you looking for? A relic. The surroundings were quiet for a while. The void also shook for a moment. In the next moment, the Pegasus Elder appeared. He looked at Suyu and said in a deep voice, Suyu, you are looking for a relic? Suyu said calmly, I asked if you wanted to come, but you insisted on coming. If you want to leave now, you can leave. If you don't want to leave, I will give you some benefits when I find the relic. Senior, I've asked many times if you want to come with me. The Pegasus youth said nervously, the ruins are the kind of ruins that are said to be invincible. No wonder you're so powerful. You've obtained the inheritance of the ruins. Suyu smiled faintly and said, that's right. Do you want to continue following me? I won't hide it from you. At this time, I'm afraid that quite a number of people from the Myriad clan cult have followed me. If I obtain the ruins, even a smart person can guess that those people want a share of the spoils. After saying that, Suyu smiled and said, let's put it this way. Among those present, other than a few people who don't know, everyone else knows. If those who don't know have followed, then I won't be responsible. I've tried to persuade them many times. The Pegasus youth mumbled. You didn't say that there was a remains. Alright, even if he did say it, he still had to follow. A remains. The youth was a little surprised and said with a smile, can we go and take a look? Of course, we won't snatch it, and the Xia family won't allow it. But, Suyu, this is within Daming Manor's territory, right? If Daming Manor knows, will they snatch it? You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 1054. 1054 Chapter 255, Layer After Layer 2. Suyu smiled and said, an invincible descendant needs some face. Of course, if we really want to snatch it, at least I have a grandmaster who is about to reach the sun and moon. If it doesn't work, let my grandmaster come. It doesn't matter. After saying that, Suyu continued walking forward and said, I don't care if everyone has guessed it or not. This time, we entered the mountain for the relic. And this relic can only belong to me. After saying that, he looked at Ji Xiaoming and said calmly, Student Ji, you don't have any objections on this point, right? No. Ji Xiaoming giggled and said, I don't have any objections. I just want to watch the show. I haven't seen the relic before. Suyu was too lazy to say anything else. At this point, he did not care about this anymore. If it did not work out, he would kill all the troublemakers. Not a single one would be left alive. I am about to reach the Daming Manor. I will not be polite to anyone who makes trouble. The old Pegasus frowned and looked at Suyu. In that case, the 10,000 tribe religion might come to more mountains and seas. Yes. Suyu did not deny it, he said, it's normal for 4 or 5 of you to come. It's normal for more to come. Don't worry. I will enter the ruins for 1 or 2 hours. I will be out very soon. Everyone only needs to protect me for 1 or 2 hours. When I go back, I will not be stingy. Suyu said directly, I'll ask Xiaqing and the others to help. It'll be 10,000 merit points and a profound grade literature soldier. If Senior agrees to help, this is also the price. If you don't agree, you can take your people and leave now. Old Pegasus glanced at the experts of the Cloud Tiger clan and snorted. So you all know. I'm the only one who doesn't know. Are there any special signs near the ruins? Old Pegasus didn't say anything more. They were already here. To be honest, he was also curious about what kind of ruins it was. We'll talk after we find it. Suyu didn't say anything more. He continued to look around and said, help me look for the canyon. I remember there's a small canyon there. The few experts didn't say anything more. They rose into the air and looked around. Li Minyu also came forward at this moment and smiled. Suyu, I didn't expect you to really control the ruins. Suyu ignored her and looked around. After a while, he turned his head and said, I don't care who you belong to. It doesn't matter. Don't have any designs on these things. Otherwise, you'll only die. This thing isn't something that you can covet. What about you? Li Minyu smiled and said, don't you have a personality too? Suyu smiled. Then you can try. You, Ji Xiaomeng, Chen Chen. The 3 of you, I've tried to persuade you over and over again. If you refuse to leave no matter what, then I won't care. Let's get straight to the point. If you have any devious thoughts, you'll definitely die. Suyu ignored her. Li Minyu smiled and didn't say anything else. At the same time, outside Starfall Mountain, a huge formation rose silently. Near the side of Daming Manor, in a small village, Zhu Tiandao looked at the scene in front of him with a smile. This kid is a fishing expert. As he said that, he turned his head and asked, how many people are there? Beside him, the middle-aged man surnamed Ho was speechless. Manor Head, there are many. There are now a total of 15 mountains and seas that have entered. N. Zhu Tiandao looked at the scene in front of him. There are 6 on Suyu's side, and the next 8. Where did the 15 come from? Are you keeping a close eye on them? Keep a close eye on them. The middle-aged man surnamed Ho quickly said, there's another one that just entered. He might be under the Xia family's supervision. He's at least at the 7th layer of the mountain and sea realm. Oh. As he said that, 2 more light spots appeared. In a flash, they disappeared. 17. Director Ho sighed. There are so many mountains and seas in the Great Xia Manor. 17 of them just randomly came. These 2 are the Dao protectors of Xia Huyo that Suyu mentioned, right? Zhu Tiandao nodded. He was also jealous. Damn it. There were so many experts in the Great Xia Manor. Look, 17 of them just randomly came. As he was speaking, the void trembled and the scene slightly shook. In the next moment, a figure appeared. Zhu Tiandao's expression changed slightly, F*CK, Jin Yuhui. This fellow actually came here. Is he here for the relic? This fellow is close to the sun and moon. I'm afraid that he's here to break through the sun and moon. This is a big fish. If there's no reason, just casually kill him. The Xia family will fight us to the death. A half-step sun and moon realm expert had arrived. If there was no evidence, just casually kill him. The Xia family would stand up no matter what. If the experts in your territory were killed, if you didn't stand up for them, who would work for you? Even Zhu Tiandao had a headache. This is very troublesome. Once this guy makes a move, Suyu might be finished. Director Ho said helplessly, "Manor Head, this isn't a problem of being finished. There are so many mountains and seas, does our Daming Manor really want to kill these mountain and sea realm experts for Suyu? There are too many of them. With this killing, the entire human realm will be shaken. In the past 10 years, 22 mountain and sea realm experts have died in the battle of the heavens. The entire human realm, 36 manors, has only lost 2 or 3 mountains and seas in a year." He was about to explode. The Daming Manor was kind. Don't be like this. How many mountains and seas would he have to kill this time? With this killing, the entire world was shaken. Zhu Tiandao smiled and said, "That kid didn't ask me to kill anyone. He only asked me to pick him up at the crucial moment and leave. That was his request, but, even if he didn't say anything, we still have to give him a welcome gift, right? He has already lured so many mountains and seas here. He's taking the chestnuts out of the fire. I'm even more curious. Where did he get the confidence to kill someone?" Director Ho smiled and said, "What I'm even more curious about is there really a relic in this place?" Zhu Tiandao had a strange look in his eyes as he said, "Don't tell me. He said that it's at Mount Xingluo. I checked it once before and it might really be there. There's a place that's rather mysterious, but I actually didn't manage to investigate it clearly." Who was he? The 9th layer of the Sun and Moon. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories. Chapter 1055. 1055 Chapter 255, Layer After Layer 3. There was actually a place that he had not explored thoroughly. If not for the fact that he did not want to alert the enemy, he would have wanted to go in and take a look. Could it be that there really was a relic in this place? The two of them chatted, and in the next moment, another person came. 19. Zhu Tiandao took a look and asked curiously, "This fellow looks a little familiar. Old Ho, do you know him?" Director Ho looked at him for a while. After a while, he suddenly said, "I remember him a little. More than 30 years ago, I went to the Great Xia Mansion for an exchange and saw this person. This person should be related to Chen Yong." "Who?" "Chen Yong." Director Ho nodded and said, "That's right. I remember that when Chen Yong just joined Ling Yun, he also participated in that exchange. Something's not right. This guy seemed to be a genius back then, but he said that he died while exploring the Starry Sky Mansion." Chen Yong's friend? Zhu Tiandao was speechless. "Look, this is the Great Xia Mansion. F***CK. A bunch of old cowards." One by one, mountains and seas appeared. Usually, you wouldn't even see a few of them. Our Great Ming Mansion has more than half of the mountains and seas. If they were to fight, they would definitely be tortured by the Xia family. One wouldn't know if one didn't look, but when one looked, one would be shocked. There were so many mountains and seas. 19 already. Director Ho also had a headache. This Suyu fellow, just how many are he planning to kill? Manor Head, should we give up? I think it will be very troublesome to take this kid in. It would really be very troublesome. Look at how many people this had attracted. Were these people idiots? If Suyu said that there were ruins, then you would believe him. Alright, he also believed it a little. That kid was too shocking. He was so fast that he could kill someone at the 7th or 8th level of the soaring heavens realm. No one would believe him if he said that he didn't have a relic. 19, are there any more? Director Ho was also helpless. There were so many, were there any more? As he said that, he muttered, "Don't provoke the sun and moon, then we'll be in big trouble." He was only the sun and moon. Zhu Tiandao was naturally strong enough, but if he really provoked the sun and moon, then it wouldn't be easy to deal with him. As he was speaking, Director Ho frowned and said, "It's over. Another one has come." Isn't that Zhao Mingyue? Don't bring that fellow from the Dragon Martial Guards along. That would be troublesome. Zhao Mingyue. Zhu Tiandao did not want to say anything more. Come on, let's continue. As many as there are. In the next moment, Director Ho said with a strange expression, "Man or head, I want to sigh in surprise. Is there going to be big trouble?" Zhu Tiandao's expression was strange. Yes, I suspect that there's no need for me to make a move. This fellow, Su Yu, was he the one who called him here? Sun Moon Realm. The first Sun Moon Realm expert had appeared. Zhu Tiandao and Director Ho both knew each other. They were suspicious. Who had called this person here? He was here by himself. It wasn't to the extent of it. He had rushed over from so far away. It shouldn't have taken him more than 4 to 5 days, right? Not many people had heard the news 4 to 5 days ago. Director Ho sighed. It's hard to say why this person is here. Man or head, he won't be able to sense our formation, right? Nonsense, that was done by my father. We'll talk about it when this fellow reaches the 9th level of the Sun Moon Realm. All right. Director Ho didn't say anything more and continued to wait. 21 experts. 20 Mountain and Sea Realm experts, and 1 Sun Moon Realm expert. And within the Mountain and Sea Realm, there were also half-step Sun Moon Realm experts. These fellows were enough to go to the heavens battlefield and fight a large-scale battle. It wouldn't be difficult for them to break into a small clan. And now, because of Su Yu, all of them had gathered here. No, including the 2 of them, there were 3 Sun Moon Realm experts. And there was also a 9th level Sun Moon Realm expert. Were they afraid? In the mountain. Su Yu and his group continued to move forward. Suddenly, someone shouted, "Where did you come from?" It wasn't as if there were no people on Starfall Mountain. There were bandits and tens of thousands of religious people here. Back when the Heavenly Yi Divine sect was destroyed, there were many people from the Heavenly Yi Divine sect who proclaimed themselves as kings. They claimed the mountain as their king and plundered the caravans of the 2 manors. Those who dared to claim the mountain as their king weren't too weak. As for Su Yu, he did not even look as he slashed out with his flying knife. Poochie. His head fell off. He was a small fry in the 10,000 stone realm. He should be a sentry or something like that. Su Yu did not ask much and directly killed him. Beside him, Ji Xiaomeng asked curiously, "If you don't ask who he is and kill him, aren't you afraid of killing the wrong person and killing the innocent?" Su Yu looked into the distance and said casually, "There are no good people on Starfall Mountain. Normal people would not block the way and ask questions. Those who block the way and kill the matter are simple. Those who block the way are not innocent." It was that simple. Who would block the road in the middle of the night for a normal person? At this moment, the sky was still dark. What if they have something to do? Ji Xiaomeng asked. Su Yu ignored her and continued to move forward. At the side, Li Minyu smiled and said, "Junior sister Ji, this is very easy to tell. There are rules to survive in the wild. If you really need help, you will report your family and identity in advance from a distance. This is the rule and the rule of survival. If you don't report your family and identity and block the road, then it's 99% likely that you are a bandit or an enemy. If you kill them, kill them." Oh. Ji Xiaoming nodded and said with a smile, "Thank you, senior sister. It's my first time out, so I don't understand. It's okay. I'll get to know it in the future." Li Minyu said this and looked at Su Yu in front of her with a strange look in her eyes. This junior looked young, but his taste was not weak. "Su Yu, have you been training in the wilderness?" she asked, and Su Yu casually said, "Not really. Before I entered the school, my teacher took me to a few places. I saw a lot, and I killed some bandits." The teacher he spoke of was Lu Wenyan. After Su Yu manifested the divine text, during the time Bai Feng left, Lu Wenyan took him to see many things. He went to the Xia clan trading company to look at the corpses of demonic beasts, went on missions with the wind-seizing hull, killed bandits, and walked through the wilderness. Of course, he didn't go deep, only exploring the shallow layers.